tonight, so of course that means we're playing Remnant Shadow, or Star Wars actual play.
That means I need a cold one.
I'll be your GM for the evening, Jason. And with me today will be, as usual, Jeremy playing Ozen, Duba playing Doc, Rappy playing Kelser, Sarah playing Io, and Eric playing Captain Irie? Whatever it is.
We're doing it on purpose now. It's just a bit now.
Someone's gonna be
it
Captain
really
Steve?
is. I've got it written down somewhere, and I never think to look for it until right as I'm going to say it. And then I overthink which one it is.
Uh-huh.
Well, like I've said before, if it makes it better, just say Eric playing the captain.
Come on, Gabby.
It's just his call sign, the captain.
Well, I mean, that's literally what I answer to the entire rest of the game. It's like, Captain, what are you doing? It's like, I'm going shopping. I'm making money. I'm picking a fight with Imperials and blowing up the shield generators of Star Destroyers. You know, the usual.
All right.
It's a mild day.
That's a Tuesday.
So last session, I believe y'all had come to an agreement with Ludo, the Hutt, to help him remove his Uncle Arnox from power. No one specified exactly what that means, but you know.
Blaster bolt through the head.
That was the assumption that everybody seemed to be making.
If nothing else, you know, potential family war, it's fine.
Maybe, yeah.
But yes, Ludo feels his uncle has been doing him wrong. And of course, he betrayed you to the Imperial, so. So really, it's self-defense.
I mean, he would have had a death sentence on him for the first one anyway. Let's be real here.
So yes. So he was going to smuggle y'all back to Nar Shaddaa. Where was it that y'all decided to stash the Rubicon?
We hadn't yet.
Okay. I knew some ideas got thrown around.
Because we were thinking about it, and then you said, let's think about it later, like after the stream, because we've got like several weeks before we actually get moving to Nar Shaddaa. And then you threw Captain Birdface at us, and we kind of got sidetracked.
Hey, I don't see where you say I threw him at you. He's been hunting you this entire time.
Yeah, because you threw him at me.
He's just a man doing his job, that's all.
Poorly.
Doing it poorly, I would say. But then if you look at, you know, Boba Fett in the movies, he could track him down, but that was about it. I mean, he didn't catch nobody. Vader gave him his target. So I guess that brings up the question: where y'all stashing the Rubicon?
We're still in the city that we were in, or the planet we were on, right?
Well, from last session till now, y'all have had a couple of weeks while Ludo wrapped up his business he had in the sector.
I think there's rolls to be made then.
I don't know.
I remember.
Well, I remember. The ones that we said we do off stream last time.
Yeah, that.
Probably.
So let's go ahead and iron that out, I think, yeah?
Oh, right, because we're supposed to make it look like we're just kind of chilling out at a certain planet. Yeah.
I remember you mentioned, Deckley, there's some things you wanted to do. I think you were looking at, like, cybernetics.
Yes, I was looking at the implants.
Had you actually decided on anything?
Yeah, the one that bumps up the dexterity by a couple ticks.
All right, and I believe Duba was going to have to, or Doc was going to have to be the one to install that.
Yes.
It's 3 20+ medicine rolls.
Uh-huh.
No failures allowed. Otherwise,
I'm literally begging you to trust in the Force.
well, that only worked for one roll.
It's good enough.
Can droids even trust in the Force?
At least in the
Mechanic for
first
player
edition,
characters.
at least in the first edition, there's no specific rule saying they cannot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's really more of a player thing for the players.
It's a
than for the
player thing,
character.
not
Gotcha.
a yeah.
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 It super wouldn't be fair if like just because you were playing a droid you couldn't trust in the Force.
I'm sitting here just going. I'm waiting for one of them to be below 20, and that's when the shenanigans start.
Uh-huh.
Every time you roll a 20 plus, I take controls. What do you have to roll to hit with a lightsaber? 20 plus.
I mean, if you want, I'll do the rolls right now.
Well, we have to purchase it first, which
Yep.
is what was it? Like
But I don't think it was restricted or anything, so you wouldn't have any trouble finding
It's not terribly
restricted, and we're on a-
expensive either.
yeah, it was like 700 credits or something.
it. Oh, that's not bad at all.
I believe it was.
We're basically at fantasy Costco. It's fine.
I'm trying to figure out which one it was.
Oh yeah, you want the Costco brand
That's it.
of something you were wired
Response
to your head.
response improvement package.
Mm-hmm.
So for every pip you're gonna go up, it costs 700 credits.
But it's just the one surgery for it, right?
No, it's 3 medicine
Right.
rolls.
It's the
But
the
if you wanted to
surgery's
go
3
up
rolls,
3
but if I
pips,
wanted
it
to
would
go
still
up,
just be 3 rolls.
Yes, from what I can tell.
It's the one surgery, just got to be successful all 3 times.
it's just credit prohibitive. So
I
yeah, if I
still
wanted to,
I still don't know like how many cyber, like if they're like a set amount of cyber points you can have.
this is
for your
literally the only impact
character.
I'm gonna get, so I'm not worried about breaking a cyber limit. I'm just gonna stick 2100 credits into this and go.
Okay.
Time to push it to the limit.
Me opening up the page, removing 2100 credits from
Please
the
and thank
bank.
you.
Yes. Let nobody say that I don't take care of the crew.
I mean, we do the jobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is like our allowance.
basically.
You know what would be really fun?
Mm,
Was if I got Duba to roll the dice in secret and just tell me what they were.
Can I do that?
do you
I
have
mean,
dice at
technically.
your table?
Not at my table, but I'd have to get a
Oh,
shit.
Can you
that's
go
right.
over to Rappy's and get
You
the
can-
dice?
You can roll to the GM with a 20.
Yeah.
You just have to
Do I have
Slash
to manually do it?
GR.
Slash,
Just slash
G-
GR, yeah, 8D.
Okay,
Slash
so
GR 86.
slash.
Don't actually feed into this. Just giving you options.
Too late.
Well, I mean, if DM says that's what he's got to do, then that's what you got to do.
I mean, Ozen, honestly, while under the knife, would they know?
I'd absolutely not know. Yeah, that's true.
True.
And it takes a whole week to do.
I've got a
Wait,
week
they're
of everybody
under
to do.
They're under the knife for a week, or like they have to acclimate to it for
To
a week.
install, doctor must make 3 difficult medicine rolls over the week of the operation for success.
So
So
maybe you have to go in, do something, let it heal for a couple days.
Yeah, that's
Like
more what I'm
it takes a
You
week.
can only
to-
download so many drivers into it at a time.
so basically it's GR 8d6.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I think there's probably a space in there somewhere, but
I'm damn
It looks
curious
like
now.
GR space 8D6.
Slash GR space 86, yeah. And then if you have bonuses.
Okay, so that is one. Let me write it down so I don't forget what they were later.
Okay, we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, give me another roll.
I'm here
Alright,
for
so
it.
I'm
Let's go.
just
When I-
just watch everyone
want
watching
my-
do his expression.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
bump myself up by three pips. That is what? 30 plus 2?
You
No.
don't know.
Well, the pips increase regardless.
Oh.
Yeah. But if any of them fail, then
Poker face, dude.
Yeah.
Poker face.
I'm more just shocked that of the number repeated, and the scenario was different in the way the dice supposedly rolled. That's what I'm
That's how
having the
that
face for.
that's how
It's a
math
lot of
works.
concerning words.
That is a lot of words that you just said.
It is indeed a lot of words I just said.
3.
So you need the third one.
All right. Let's see. Number 3 coming up.
1, 2. Yep, I was right. 3 plus 2.
Alrighty. Well, at the end of the week, it is installed. It seems to be functioning properly.
Hell yeah.
Seems to be.
Fix the ballsies real quick.
I guess we'll find out the first round of combat. If you roll
Uh-huh.
higher than a 20.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's at 40.
So that's pretty much what Doc and Ozen are doing for at least one of those
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
What were the rest of you wanting to do? Was there any special preparations y'all were doing?
Yes, there was 2 more things I wanted to get before we left the planet. One is that that holographic sight for the rifle,
Okay.
and the
I
other
thought you had IO buy something.
that
It was a barrel.
Yeah, that was a barrel attachment, which
Oh, it's the whole
basically
focused beam thing.
yeah. So instead of like a bolt, it's more like a laser pointer. Very deadly laser pointer, but a laser pointer nonetheless. And the other is the that stun field for BT.
Ah,
Yeah.
which was also restricted, I think.
Yes. And I would like to posit a query that may or may not fix that.
All right, what is that?
Ira works with weapons a
Mhm.
great deal because that's his whole trade, which he's been doing for a long time. Would it be feasible that he would have licenses for weapons, like weapon attachments for like weapons and droids and things like that?
He's a gun runner.
Like I know absolutely he would not have the licenses for like medical stuff.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm asking specifically. This is for like weapons, and like the stun field's technically like a defensive / offensive thing for droids, but
He could. But that is going to involve the government's keeping a very close eye on what he's carrying. You know, if you've got the license, if you own a gun store, you can get licenses for a lot of stuff. But
yeah.
there's a ton of paperwork, and the government keeps tabs on you.
Mm-hmm.
So how much attention is he wanting to draw from the various governments?
Especially considering who we've recently
Yeah.
made questionable friends with.
Next question. On to that sort of question to your question. He's done a lot of work with the cartels. Could this be sort of like a fake license? So it's sort of like if flashed, he can get the restricted stuff, but it's not like government's eyeballing you kind of a thing. So he can get the restricted. So it's technically still doing illegal work, but he's doing it legally.
I would say you could have a fake enough license that you might be able to fool somebody into selling you something restricted.
Mm-hmm.
But if something brings you to the to a government's attention and they really do, they really kind of look into it, then they'd be able to flag it as fake.
Okay.
Maybe not the guard at the casual checkpoint.
Mm-hmm.
If they do like a background kind of search sort of thing on you,
A thorough background check.
If you apply for a ship loan and they find that shit.
A ship.
Nah, he'll just go to the black market.
Probably safer.
Well, I mean, this is why I was asking, because all I knew at the time was, license for restricted gear. GM has stated this is what it will be to get a license, like the stuff you'll have to deal with. So I am now more informed.
All right. So while you're on this world, at least, Io had already figured out kind of where contacts for the black market were.
Yeah.
And the charts, I think, had the prices listed. Did they have black market prices listed? Or did the items themselves, where you looked them up?
Well, they aren't accessed as illegal, so I don't think they show black market prices because both of these are just restricted. So, like,
yeah, but you're buying them off the black market. So there's the black market markup.
Yeah, I don't remember what that price was, what that markup was.
I mean, all of ours were flat out illegal, so they were already that price.
I want to say it was something like double.
Double? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Could he potentially, using bargain, haggle down a slightly lower price from double?
Yes. Yes, you could.
Saying that he was impressed with how well they operated when he sent a crew member to acquire some goods. Now he's here to deal with them himself.
All right.
Okay, bargain.
Let's see if flattery gets you anywhere.
Who knows? Potentially.
They rolled an 18.
See, that's 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 24. Like, those are damn good rolls, is what that was.
Almost max.
2 6s, a 5, a 4, and a 3.
All right, so you beat him but did not double him. So yeah, you're able to shave 25% off of the markup. So instead of being double, instead of being 100% more, it's 75% more than base cost.
So I will calculator that out.
Yeah.
And reduce. So...
Perfect. We have a means to keep the man awake. Come on, more board problems.
No, this isn't a complex enough word problem.
Okay, so all right. So instead of approximately 2,500 for both items, it's 2,187. So shaved about 400 off. That ain't bad.
Mm-hmm.
Still a pretty penny, but you are buying from the black market. So.
Yes, that's true.
All right. Io had bought some special equipment last session. Is there anything else she's going to be looking for prior to hooking up with Ludo?
Knowing what she knows about various computer systems and so forth, does she know if there's any way to look into Arnox's computer systems from this distance, or does he have a closed network?
You would have to be. You'd have to basically be in his.
Base of operations.
Right.
Okay. How did Ludo get here on his private ship, or?
Yes. Kind of a luxury yacht sort of thing.
And knowing what she knows about luxury yachts, and perhaps Ludo's personality and tech savviness, would she know if she could access that computer system from a distance?
Most likely not.
Fantastic. That shoots down both things she was going to do.
Just because the OpNet doesn't, or the not OpNet, the
ShadowNet.
I'm not sure how much like the real internet that works. You in Star Wars, you have a lot of hackers that do things when they get their hands on a system, or when they, like you see R2 doing all the time in the movie.
Yeah, at the actual base of operations, not via network.
Because you've got faster than light communication, but still the lag from the corporate sector to hut space is going to be pretty massive.
Yeah. She's still going to run it probably by the captain, just that once they get closer, either on Ludo's boat or once they get to Arnox, is to look into this a little deeper to make sure they aren't being used as a pawn just to be used as a pawn. Like that there's a legitimate betrayal and that kind of thing.
Yeah, he'll agree with that for sure.
Okay.
Because she had all the toys she needed previously, so she's probably just going to hang out on the ship and shore up any defenses as far as technologically.
All right. Keltzer.
Hmm?
Is there any equipment or activities you would want to get into?
I kind of wanted to see if I could find a better weapon. I think last time.
Okay. Through legal means or extra legal means?
Oh, I don't think she has the money for extra, like, illegal means. So, probably through legal means.
Okay. Well, as long as it's not restricted, you won't have any on this world. You won't really have any trouble finding anything kind of baseline.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for Sith swords or something just weird or exotic like that, that's gonna be an issue. So, what are you equipped with right now? Or what gun is it you want to upgrade, I should say?
Anything that is better than a heavy blaster pistol?
Okay. Well, a blaster rifle does the same amount of damage, though it's got better ranges. Repeating blaster does more. Medium repeating blaster does even more. And then you have the heavy repeating blaster. So those are getting into kind of rifle-sized things.
Yeah. Well, which is, maybe something.
You get a Wookiee bowcaster. Yeah.
Don't you have to specialize in that one?
I don't remember. It doesn't have damage anyway, which doesn't fit the cannon, I don't think. But so heavy blaster pistol's about the best you're going to have as far as something like a pistol. You could easily go out and buy you a rifle or something.
Yeah. Probably what she's gonna do. Go
see.
and try to get a better, rifle.
Yeah. So a blaster carbine does the same amount of damage, like I said. It's got it in the rifle bow, but it's got better ranges.
Mm-hmm.
To actually bump up the damage, you'd need to go to a repeating blaster.
Okay.
Those may be restricted.
Repeating blasters are. So remember we had that whole thing with yeah, light repeating blasters are restricted, and I think medium and heavy are illegal. So oh, heavy, you need to have a power generator.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's like the backpack thing that one guy in
yeah.
Oh, what was it? Rogue One.
Yeah.
You had that one guy with the backpack mounted big gun.
I mean, you already have a backpack. You might as well make use of it. Just stick a battery on it.
Well, how heavy would that be?
Probably very heavy.
Yeah, some stuff you have to have like enhanced strength, higher than normal strength to carry.
I think Ozen's in her room just like seeing into the Matrix right now.
Well, if it's gonna be restrictive, she probably doesn't even have the money for it anyway.
Has she been blowing all of her money? Because the crew's been making money.
But you know, how much would it cost?
Let's look this up. Alright, that's the Force. That's starships. Alright, let me find what page the equipment is on. Alright. Ranged weapons. The repeating blaster costs 2,000.
Oh, I have enough. Well, for that.
X, illegal to possess or use, violates local imperial law.
I mean, we're not under imperial law, so fuck
A
them.
note on the violates local or imperial law.
Ah.
Alright, into the black market. Let's see, black market items can be of inferior quality and are always at least at least triple the price. Oops.
Oh,
Damn, you made out like a bandit then.
Let's see here. So yeah,
Well,
you know, you're going to if you can pry some money away from the captain, you might be able to get it on the black market. You know, but then you'd have to be careful about where you carried it around.
yeah. Trying to think. Would she know that the captain was going to the black market?
I guess it would depend if he said anything.
He did.
You would probably know that IO had hit the black market earlier.
Yeah.
that's true. It's not really something that comes up in conversation a lot. Hey guys, I'll be back. I'm going to the black market.
Need anything? A beverage? Illegal slicing tools? Questionable weapons?
Alright, no. Yeah, she'd go ask the captain. See.
Yes.
I need money.
For
I need
what?
money.
Better weapon?
Okay. What are you looking for?
What was it, a repeating
Yes, repeating
rifle,
blaster.
right? Yeah,
Repeating
repeating blaster.
Okay. Do you know if you want a light or medium, or wear yourself down even more and go for a heavy?
Medium, right?
Hmm.
I don't know. The book I've got has just got repeating blaster. Though I think come think of the source book had more than that. Okay, repeating blaster is the one I was looking at out of the main book. The source book's also got the medium and the heavy.
Yeah.
So repeating is 2,000, which would be 6,000 on the black market. Medium is 3,000, which would be 9,000 on the black market, or up to that anyway. And the heavy repeating blaster is 5. Though oddly, it's only restricted, where the other two are illegal.
Which one?
Which one's
heavy.
restricted?
The heavy, according to this.
Let's say probably because it's really damn noticeable.
Could be.
And
you're not gonna
has
sneak
fat.
around with it.
No.
Be back, kiddies. I'll see you in a bit. Have fun and be careful getting the fights. Goodbye.
Yeah.
It's
Goodbye.
also only available in large cities and spaceports throughout the Empire and corporate sector. Okay, never mind. Y'all are good then.
Probably a medium to not be too weighed down.
Right. So that's. Hey, Io. You'd be a repeating customer. Do you think you can maybe go with her to get that?
Sure, I probably know a guy.
They seemed to like me pretty well when I was there. I guess just.
I'll bat my eyelashes at them or something.
Yeah, there's
Weird things at them.
a weapon vendor that I went to when I was there. Go talk to them. You might get a good price.
Seduces in Cthulhu.
And you said it was how much, Jason? Maybe 9,000.
The medium one was 3,000 baseline. So times 3. No, yes, toast that.
Times 3 would be 9 grand.
Yeah, the medium was 3,000. So.
Me checking Io's bargaining. Not horrible.
Yeah, he'll hand Io 9 grand.
Casually.
Oh, I can now end this life of crime and no.
No, he'll hand her 10 just in case they upcharge.
I'm insulted you think they would upcharge me. Walks off.
It's the black market. What do you think?
Oh, like I don't go there all the time. She says not going there all the time.
Oh.
Wanders off.
All right, well, give me a bargain roll then.
Considering she has 3d6, that's not bad.
No, not at all.
That's 2 whole full dice.
That's 2 full dice. Out of a possible 3 full dice.
So they rolled a 16.
Now you need 500 more credits.
All right, so they beat you but not double you. So yeah, you basically, they try to upsell you a little bit. You get them to come down a little bit, but you wind up at basically that 9, the baseline 9 grand.
I'm not a fool. I'm a fool, but I'm not a fool in this. With computer parts, she would have rolled a lot better.
Oh, of course. So you do hear him mumble as you're wandering off. He didn't know why a dancer needs a gun that big.
Can she turn around and shoot him with the gun? No, she's not going to do that.
And he said it
That's
was
when
in
you
the
find out it
source.
didn't come with battery packs. Click, click, click.
And he said it was in the source book.
Yes, Star Wars source book page. Well, they didn't number the page. Great. It'd be page 96, which is getting it like all the item charts, cost charts, and stuff. All right. So as the second week rolls in, you have to make a final decision on where y'all going to hide the Rubicon.
Is there like a pay-in park place, like for the airport, or?
Yes, pretty much any spaceport can do that, at least on any kind of moderately sized world. That leaves a paper trail that certain individuals might be able to follow them.
Yeah, of course.
Well, the digital trail.
But surely there are ways for us to be like, keep this on the hush hush.
would there have been a way during those weeks, if they had kind of discussed this before, that Io could have redesignated the ship under like a different name, different VIN number, or something like that?
Seems reasonable you might be able to do that. Give me a let's see.
Security? Or computer program repair?
Let's go with security. I mean, it's mostly computer work, but it might be some physical work too to get the transponder broadcasted to it.
26?
All right.
That's low-ish.
I think that gets past the they get you into well past the difficult.
Oh wait, no. Would it be with her security kit? I can roll that. Okay.
Fucking A.
So you control the planet.
I love my security kit. I'd like to say
Yeah,
I've hacked the planet.
Since you're basically hacking your own ship at this point. And the trick isn't that it would be hard to do, that it's hard to do without sending up red flags to the... So yes, you're pretty sure you can give it a false ID. I mean, probably once you're off this planet. You know, if suddenly a new ship is detected, you know, is in the system, it might get flagged because, hey, there's no record of this thing landing with us, or...
Yeah.
But if you did that in transit to wherever y'all are planning to stash it, then as far as that other place is concerned, you know the... What do you name your ship?
She would ask the crew that. Guys, we need a fake name for the Rubicon for a bit. Anyone got any ideas? It can't be something easily identifiable as something that ties to us, because us.
I'm just call it the Lakota.
The bright Lakota, just to give it some sort of flair.
The bicentennial Lakota?
Because I totally just looked up and saw the map with the ship and saw it said Lakota.
Yeah, I thought that was where you got that.
Bright Lakota it is, unless anyone has any objections.
You don't want to make it too generic. You want to hit that balance of like just generic enough to
but not quite something a HUD would name their like yacht.
It's suspiciously
Exactly.
generic.
Yeah.
It is the precise, most generic name possible.
What's the name of the ship? Bob. Alright. Puts it under Bright Lakota.
Yep.
So at this point, y'all just hit another decently sized planet and just pay to park the thing for a few weeks or whatever. They're going to charge you 300 credits a week.
That's not horrible.
How long were we going to be gone?
We don't know. Just prepay for like, I don't know, 4 weeks.
Set up an fake account, put X amount of credits in, and if we need to shift credits, well, I could leave a trail too.
Yep. Base with bank account.
And he pulls out a $2,000 credit chit. Use that.
I mean, that could work too. Maybe 21. Make it a nice even number.
Yeah.
Multiples of 3.
Yep.
So.
We'll be back in a few months. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Better not scratch the page.
They will treat it like it is their own child.
That concerns me as a Twi'lek. What'd you do with it? We treated it like our own child. We sold it.
Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
So yeah, y'all stash that. Ludo's people come by and pick you up in a smaller ship. Well, not really smaller than y'all's, but smaller than the yacht. Ludo put you on.
I'm assuming we take anything from our ship that we're needing, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Just make sure you pack it, because it's a long way coming back.
Not driving back if you forget something. Got it.
Helen has her lightsaber and her
The cube?
cube. Yeah.
That is a good
Safely.
question. You bring the cube with you, or do you leave it locked up in the ship?
Oh man. I think I'd rather have it with me.
Okay.
Big spaces, chance of random imp searches. They'll just see a weird Sith sword and be like, "Oh, whatever."
It's broken. We don't want that anyway.
Yeah,
Bring
exactly.
Do we bring all the droids as well?
They're just chilling out, having their own block party in the ship.
Well, let's see. BT isn't a known category to Arnax.
Mm-hmm.
The others, well, R2 is. But now he'll bring BT.
You leaving
BL,
R2?
not BT, BL. Well, he wants R2 to keep an eye on the ship. Make sure no one tries to
R2's
do
going to be
anything.
alone for 3 months, potentially?
R2 is going to have a horde of other droids with him.
Abandoning the puppy?
You come back, they've all gone Lord of the Flies.
Yeah,
Oh
that's what I was picturing. Like, we're going to come back. Stuff's going to be painted everywhere.
no. Just hear a chainsaw
They're
start whirring.
wearing palm leaves. You don't know where they got them.
They just grew the palms in those 3 months.
But anyway, when y'all get on
But
board
not
the
yet.
ship,
Before they leave, he'll tell R2 that this is going to be a very highly dangerous mission. He doesn't know when he's going to be back, and he needs to know that the ship is with someone that he can trust to keep an eye on it, which he's entrusting to R2 to do.
he beeps at you. He pops, one of his little chest pieces pops open. That little grippy arm comes out. It's got a knife. You don't know where he got a knife at.
What do you have? A knife!
Well, I mean, he does have that scan-resistant compartment in there.
That's probably where he keeps it.
Just keep
So-
the shank in there.
Why does the droid have a shank? Nobody's legs are safe anymore.
Oh god.
That's just what he gets the buzz droids for.
See, now I'm picturing all your droids. You come back and they're all welded together in some kind of like Voltron-esque.
It's a Katamari ball of buzz droids.
Oh no.
I hate everything about this.
Anyway,
Someone attacks us in space. Launch the ball!
so anyway, y'all load up in Ludo's ship.
Mhm.
He welcomes you on board. He assures you that, only his most loyal people are on board. So we talk fairly openly. I mean, he wouldn't go telling everybody the specifics of any plan, but everybody knows what business we're on.
Ozen's like, I'm gonna pick the room that's furthest away from everybody else, and still acclimating to these implants. The trick is they don't reflexes are like the dexterity is already there. It's just the reflex thing.
Mhm, mhm. So yeah, you met Ludo's security guys. They're on board. There's a couple of crew members. Some like kind of wait staff. Servant types. He's got a couple of Twi'leks on board. That the second or third day they are literally dancers.
I was like, yes. Huts.
They're fascinated with people that are graceful because they are not.
Usually.
But so anyway, you're on it's a pleasure yacht. So the food's all high
High end,
top shelf booze. Is Ozen going to spend the entire time?
Yep.
Pondering the cube.
Not the entire time. She'll come out every now and again, just to like make appearances. Be like,
I'm not
"Hi,
dead.
not dead. Still here. You'll know if I'm dead."
You come out
How?
from the dining area. You just hear oof, 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 oof. The lights are
The
flashing.
force ripple tear apart the ship.
Just because you die?
Uh-huh.
That seems a bit overdramatic.
There's a lot of grief in here.
That's why Ozen's a failed Jedi. She's very emotional.
Awkward shoulder pap. A lot of grief in all of us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Need
try and
train-
hack the ship. I'll be back.
Go have fun.
I'm gonna leave. Like Io's gonna leave a long way before Ozen says anything. And at that point, it's in her head.
Now you're given pretty free reign of the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, like the engine room doors tend to be locked, or what have you. But there does always seem to be people around. I mean, especially with you guys in here, the ship's about at capacity.
I've made my rolls for projective telepathy. I made just so we're aware. I made the rolls and I'm good for it. So just
Who are you projecting to?
Io.
Okay.
Just like as she leaves, just in her head she hears, "What?"
The fuck was very concerned Twi'lek movement. Head pokes back around the corner. Stay out of my head. I don't know how you got in there. Keep out of it. If you go back in there, I'm charging you rent.
Slides 500 credit shit deal.
I'm gonna go try and hack the ship now.
Say that louder, please.
She doesn't say it. She's not like screaming it. Under her breath kind of thing.
Okay. So I'm gonna assume you're probably doing this while Ludo's eating.
Yeah, eating or otherwise occupied. She may. Well, no, she don't trust the Twi'leks.
She doesn't even trust her own people. Terrible.
They're working for Arnok, or not Arnok's Ludo. She doesn't know where their loyalties lie. She's not going to be like, hey, when's a good time and place to like have free access to the ship? She's not going to try that because they might go back to Ludo and say, hey, the purple one over there is like trying to look for a good time and place to access the ship. You might want to keep an eyeball on her. No, she's not doing that.
Well, okay.
She may like, are they wearing headgear of any kind?
Probably some kind of like little tiara, kind of,
Okay.
They tend to dress nicely.
In the like Leku communication, does he treat you well? Do you need an escape?
Let's see. They freeze for a second, like, You actually see them. If you ask it while they're together, they kind of look at they kind of make eye contact with each other. One of them's head tail starts to twitch, and then it's like they remember. Oh yeah, she can read that. She would understand that. Oh yeah, he's great. He treats us really well.
What? Is there like some kind of insight?
Perception is what we've been
Yeah,
doing.
perception. Okay. He's gonna try and read the body language on. Are they saying this under duress?
They got nervous when you asked that because they don't know you and you're working for Ludo.
Same thing.
As they've been working around Ludo, they don't seem particularly nervous around him. No more so than anybody is around their boss, I guess.
If you need out, I know a guy that blows holes in the heads of slaveholders and then just keeps walking.
Yeah, you walk out as their head tail motions intensify.
What? Okay, what kind of roll would you need to make to?
Stealth to try to
Okay.
Get access without being seen.
Okay, double checking something.
At least I think stealth is an actual.
Yeah, stealth is an actual thing. Just double checking. That's only heat and infrared. All right. Hide and sneak. I'm liking the 16 tonight,
I guess so.
Okay. All right. You're pretty sure you're not being watched? You don't try getting up into the cockpit itself.
Nah.
Because there's often somebody running around there. But you find one of the other, kind of another workstation, probably a little maintenance area, where people don't go as often.
Yep.
So now you can give me your security with your kit thing to try to do the actual hacking.
38.
It's pretty damn good. It's no 42, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
Very, very difficult is 30. Oh, this was very, very difficult, so you needed a 40.
Yes,
Can't tell if you're bullshitting or not.
They go up in increments of 5. Mostly.
No, I'm sorry. I meant very, very, very difficult. No, you
There you
get
go.
there without too much trouble. He's got decent security. I mean, it
Yeah.
takes you time to do this.
She's impressed that he actually has decent security.
Got decent security, but he's
That's
no
fishy.
IO. But he's no IO.
Got decent security. That's concerning.
It's decent, but it's standard off the shelf stuff. So yeah.
Yes, Norton.
McAfee.
Uh,
So yeah, you managed to get into the system.
okay. Anything
what is it exactly
as
you're looking for?
any communications between him and Arnox? Any communications he may have had with Imperials?
You find kind of records of both.
Any written communications, especially.
I'm trying to think of what the likelihood. He's a gangster. It's unlikely he'd be recording his calls. But he does. You find where he got an incoming message from his uncle, or from Nar Shaddaa anyway. Just shortly before y'all took off on that last mission.
By last mission.
Well, the where you were carrying those fellas and the Imperials got involved.
Okay.
The mission you got dimed out of.
Okay.
He received a message from his uncle just before you'd have left for that, and then turned around and contacted the Imperials. Just kind of like right after that.
Mm-hmm.
Ludo did or Arnox did?
Ludo contacted the Imperials after Arnox contacted him. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Of course, you already knew, you met Ludo on the Star Destroyer, so you knew he'd been in contact with Imperials off and on. And this was not the only time he'd contacted them. There are other calls to and from Nar Shaddaa and to and from the Imperials.
Okay. She'll get like a basic, like, if there's any record of where they've been recently, like as far as like receipts of like maybe fueling up, repair work, docking fees, that kind of thing.
That sort of thing you get.
Just to kind of build a where have they been recently.
He's been bouncing around mostly to the larger worlds. There is a couple of times where there's kind of a gap that you're not sure where they were. One of which lines up with when you would have run into him on the Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if they had landed on a smaller world, they might have paid with cash and not had, as much paperwork and stuff. And, of course, if they were going about something less than legal, they may have gone out of their way not to leave a trail about it.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, she'll just make a copy of anything that seems like pertinent like that. If there, like she said, if there's any written communication, even if it's just at the time seems innocuous, she's just gonna pretty much copy as much as she can in a time that's quick enough for it not to be super suspicious of her lurking about.
There's lots of ship and speeder schematics.
Oh yeah, Ludo's a car nerd.
Some of which, you can see where he's gone. He's taken like the baseline. He's like, doing modifications for it. Though you don't find the schematics for your ship, so.
What?
Well, never think about the past. It distracts from the now.
Yeah, he has new projects to work on. Right, she'll get all that and then disconnect and make her way back towards like just the basic social areas.
Okay. So you were gone for a little while, but not anything super suspicious.
Just taking a
You
look.
hope.
Gonna leak somewhere.
Yeah.
But
I'll come back to bite her in the ass at some point.
But yeah, dinner is wrapped up,
Probably.
which dinner is like a 2-hour affair with Ludo.
Yep.
And now him and some of the crew, and any of you, well, other than Io who's busy, that would want to. There's a game of Sabacc going.
think Ozin would respectfully decline, but watch in the way that like she is to herself counting cards, but isn't doing it to anybody else or dice or whatever the case it is.
Sabak is cards, but it's
Yeah.
cards that will randomly change their facings.
Gotcha.
Sometimes.
So yeah, she's not counting cards for her sake or for anyone's sake, but she's just doing it just to see if she can.
Some of the other crew that are playing seem to relieve when Ozin, turns it down.
No, thanks, I'm good. Proceeds to count cards.
Well, they're more like, they've heard Jedi can read minds and stuff. You don't want to play cards when they can read minds.
No, you don't.
Ludo doesn't seem to care. But Huts have a reputation for being resistant to certain things.
Yep.
Do any of the rest of you sit down to play Sabak with him?
With Ludo?
Yeah, with Ludo and some of his crew.
Yeah, the captain will play a little bit.
Alright.
Oh, look, Doc's back.
Let's see. Gambling should be a thing. Or do they just use like con and stuff?
Con's a thing. Gambling? Probably not.
Gambling is under perception.
Oh yeah, so it is.
Yeah.
Well, you literally have characters in the setting that are referred to as gamblers. So.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. How good is Ludo at gambling now that I think about it?
I'd imagine pretty goddamn good.
As good as Io is at hacking.
I don't know if I would go that far.
Fair enough.
He is quite competent, though.
He's probably as good with like car and ship mod stuff as Io is at hacking.
Yeah, probably.
Alright. So give me a gambling roll, and we'll see if you come out better or worse than Ludo does. Oh, I guess I should probably roll for his guy. That did pretty good. Alright, Ludo got a 20. One of his men got a 19, and the other one got like a 6 or a 7 or something pathetic.
Well, I beat one of them. I got a 9.
Okay, you do not make an impressive showing at this card game.
No. I say he's a merchant, not a gambler.
I'll for shiggles roll con to see if I can count cards.
Okay. That is going to be very difficult because of the nature of some
I didn't get
cards.
it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't get it. I got like 4 or 7. Just still getting used to these implants. Ugh. Right on the temple, and then used to like rubbing there, and it just taps it every time, and I twitch.
You keep hitting the on-off button by mistake. So the trip back to Hut Space, this is pretty much how the trip back to Hut Space goes, one of the Twi'leks working for Ludo is a musician, so, some nights they play cards, some nights there's just, live music. I think they have holo vids.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some kind of entertainment every night after dinner. And you'll occasionally walk in and see Ludo, mess around on a data pad. Sometimes doing business, sometimes working on his schematics. One of them times it's like he's working on modifications to Arnox's personal ship.
Like just that visible because he's so large, or is it just like, well, he's on his ship, we can trust whatever goings on he's doing?
Well, if you walk up to him, he doesn't bother hiding,
Sure.
anything.
Planning to take the ship for yourself after everything?
Oh, I've been offering to upgrade it for Uncle for some time.
Upgrade it with the bomb.
Just seems weird if...
It's a beautiful ship.
So planning to basically make it yours.
Yeah, or gift it to somebody else. Yeah.
I would say, however, if you did, it may lose the beauty, but then it becomes a project.
He prefers creating art than salvage.
Boring.
I mean, after a certain amount of damage, you just can't get them to work the same. I mean, frame damage, it's just hard to do anything about that. Once you get into hut space, Ludo drops you off with a couple of his other people. And it's on a much smaller little shuttlecraft, or little cargo shuttle, that you'll actually get back to Nar Shaddaa proper in. He's concerned that his ship might be under scrutiny, possibly from his uncle, who's just, suspicious about nature. Untrustworthy people are often not very trusting. But as well as, other cartels. I mean, you do have, you guys personally do have enemies on Nar Shaddaa after all.
Everyone significant looks at the captain.
On the plus side, though, none of those enemies are likely to be looking for you on Nar Shaddaa itself.
It's not like we've been dealing with people who are idiots and decided to throw their idiot children at us. And then decide to, take the fact that they threw their idiot children at us and have a hissy fit about it when they came up, short.
Well, you're not sure that they threw their children at you, or the child was just going to try to impress their parent by going after you.
Well, then the child needed to learn better.
That will be an important lesson.
Well, it doesn't matter now.
Okay, Hogfather.
So we run into the girl again. It's like, did you learn your lesson?
You're a zombie.
Oh, we never killed her. She got away.
I thought she died.
I was thinking y'all had dropped her.
No, she got away because security stuff. The security was coming, so we had to leave, and you're using that as hey, this is how you hack in this game to get through this closed shop door.
Fair enough.
So yeah, the daughter got away. She was
Secretly,
the only one that got away. Everybody else died.
Secretly, it's her under the bird mask.
But she was
Would not surprise me.
Terribly scarred from a blaster bolt to the face.
But she was limping pretty good, yeah.
Dual cybernetic legs.
Really, just Jar Jar Binks under the mask.
Oh Lord.
I will quit this game.
You'll only find out in the last episode, so it's fine.
Then I'll make the impronounceable character next game.
We all make the impronounceable character next game.
All right. So you arrive on Nar Shaddaa.
Now that Doob is actually here, as we're getting there, just still acclimating to everything, Ozin will go to Doc and be like, "So, how was the surgery?"
You should be happy to know that the entire surgery was a success. Everything should be functioning as normal. You might notice a few different enhancements, or at least different feelings when it comes to certain abilities, as it were.
He like not with the cube, but like has like a little, I don't know, takes a credit sheet and just like rolls it between her fingers, like, huh, it's much faster than it used to be.
Yes, you've increased your speed with that activity at least a good rough 25% for now. It should hopefully continue to increase a little bit more.
Well, I thank you. There's no other doc I trust for these operations, and well, frankly, the least expensive one too.
Not
Of,
wrong.
of course.
There's no other cheap doctor
Just
that I would trust.
clank, clank, clank. You're all right, Doc. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Gotta get these old bones working again.
Understood. Please, let me know if you feel any uncomfortable, well, I'd say either tendencies or just uncomfort whatsoever. We'll see about administering a little bit of relief.
That came out of nowhere, and I'm gonna process that later.
We added
What?
RGB coloring to the implant. Little lights. Click.
Just in
Look,
case any side effects pop up.
look, all Doc wants to do is make sure that Ozen is fine. If you feel uncomfortable for some reason, we can administer some good stuff and let you feel better for about 5 minutes. It's good. Look, we all know most pain medication only works for about 5 minutes before your brain's just like, oh, hey.
Chronic
Remember?
pain. That doesn't even last 5 minutes. Anyway, now we can go back to Narshada. Sorry, I did want to ask that when Duba got back.
All right,
Give you a
so
space Benadryl.
you're in one of the seedier spaceports on Narshada, a planet that is itself seedy. Period. Well, a moon. It's all right. Y'all are at in the vertical city now. What do y'all want to do?
Yep.
How are y'all going to go about approaching Arnox?
We probably should have discussed this while we were on the ship. Can we say that we did discuss this while we were on the ship?
Oh yeah. Y'all would have been
Okay.
talking and planning it.
See, so we have access to Arnox's entire schedule,
Mm-hmm.
routes and such. Honestly, Aira he'd try to find a place where he can get a good, like, sniping position. If he can.
Ozen's gonna just go to Ludo and be like, you have your own private holdings, right?
A few.
Is there somewhere you can stash us for a bit? Without your uncle knowing? Something maybe relatively close?
Yeah, he gives you the address for a like storage rental place.
Mhm.
You know, he tells you there's already a few cots in there, plenty of room to store your gear.
Perfect. Then I'll suggest that we go there first and we can strategize there or hole up there for a bit. Now, do you have another one in case this goes south and we need to like lay low somewhere?
You can just use the
Don't
same
go
one.
don't go to the same place twice.
At that point, I suggest we start getting off planet.
Kinda hard
He
to do without a
gives you
ship.
the address to a speeder repair shop.
That works.
Have we arranged a way to get off planet once this is all done? Or are we just hoping Ludo's going to, come pick us back up?
Mom, pick me up. I'm scared.
I just offed your uncle. Come pick me up, please.
From what Ludo has told you, yeah, he plans to have somebody, carry you back. Now, if y'all want to have a plan B,
I mean, there's public transport that we can take back, right? Yeah.
That we would probably have to check into with identification of some kind. If it's going off
there's
world.
no record of you arriving on Nar Shaddaa. What the what?
Private shuttle. Private shuttle.
But yeah, according to Ludo, the plan would be for you to remove his uncle from power.
Sure.
And basically make your way back to that shuttle that brought you in the last little ways. And they will run you out to, some random other planet in Hut space where you can just catch a transport.
Yep. Follow to me.
Now, as y'all are traveling across Nar Shaddaa to get to the storage place, what steps are you taking to disguise yourself, make yourself less noticeable?
Ozen has a hood over, and then just wearing, very nondescript clothing, and then has a hood up. Anything she might have is like her accoutrements. She would have her baton visible, and then she'd have her lightsaber tucked somewhere where she can easily reach it, but no one else knows it's there. But also, the thing she would be doing is looking to see that the best defense in this case is to see somebody before they actually get to do anything. In her case.
Io?
Hood up, let go back in the back of the hood, and the dim sum up. Dim sum just creates pretty much obscures the face.
So deepens the shadows in the hood sort of thing.
Yeah, basically says creates a shield of darkness over wearer's face.
So with the hood up, that's not as noticeable as if you were just walking around with shadow right here.
Yeah.
Alright, what about Keltzer?
You're gonna hide that armor.
She's actually not going to be in her armor.
Whoa.
What? It comes off? We thought it was grafted on.
Thought you were another droid.
Graft
Mando armor onto a droid.
She has a lighter, she'll have a protective vest on as armor with a cloak, and that's what she'll be wearing.
Okay.
Grafting Mando armor into a droid somewhere, someone's spinning in their grave.
Well, no, somewhere somebody's put together a team specifically to come after you.
Oh yeah, someone's like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but we gotta go.
Captain, what about you?
Did you buy a dim sim on the planet we were just at?
That was something she started a game with.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know if you bought one as well.
If we had done any planning beforehand and anyone had mentioned wanting one, she could have bought one.
Yeah, I didn't think about it.
Or she could offer that one, because the captain's face is a bit more noticeable than just random purple Lekos.
Yeah,
because tattoos.
Just take a Sharpie, alter the tattoos, no one will recognize
The X's become O's.
That's a good way to get shot, is what that is.
it. It washes off eventually.
Hands over dim sum. If anything, she'll just wear the retinal modifiers.
Yeah,
And still just wear the hood.
if Io hands over the dim sum, he'll wear that.
So basically, a hood up and glasses on for Io.
Hood up and basically
It's
change
the
the way.
Kent.
Exactly. She might, for once, like wear an actual headdress kind of thing under the hood.
Do y'all do anything with Doc? Or does Doc take any attempt to disguise?
Doc's also in a cloak.
I was gonna say put a sheet over Doc.
Or BL for that matter. I was about to forget BL was with you.
BL's wearing
BL's an
armor.
unknown. BL's an unknown in this case.
Yeah, BL is an unknown.
I mean, change the bulbs in my eyes to a different color? I don't really know what we can do besides throw a cloak over me.
Is there like a temporary like spray paint of some kind that we could apply?
Oh sure.
Yeah, just the equivalent of
What
giving
color
it-
do you prefer? Copper patina or pewter?
I'm
He's already
feeling
pewterish.
I was fixing to say I'm feeling exotic. Let's go with the copper.
Copper
spray
number
down
3.
Doc. A
Just
really
be a
weird
different-
spray tan.
No, you spray paint him gold and tell him to act like a protocol droid.
Put in a different voice chip or something.
Hello, I am a normal American man.
Alright, so you're making your way through the streets. Give me perception checks.
If I'm actively looking, would that be search?
Yes.
I have a feeling we would all
Search
be
will fine.
actively
Search is
looking.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ozen's good at it.
I have an extra pip in it, so
Ozen's not good at it at the moment. Let's see.
Well,
16.
let's see.
Whoops.
I got a 12 and BL got a 15.
Okay.
I'm currently the highest with the 16. Oh, I guess Doc is better than me at it. Fair enough. Forgot he increased some of those skills. Finally.
Alright, so anybody that got above a 13
Woo!
realizes you're being followed.
Yep. What did I hear the roll?
I got 12.
he looks over at Ozen. You notice that?
Yes. Extra footsteps where they don't match up with anybody's here's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, now, it's a crowded street. At least in spots.
With the same couple faces. Or jackets, or...
Or they're just paying a little too much attention to you.
Mm-hmm.
Any ideas on how to make them less observant about us? Aside from outright murder?
We can do what we did last time and just take a sharp corner into an alley and just wait there for them.
And then do what?
And then
I'm
they'll
off
fuck
the
off.
edge.
Or that.
Rumor has it that sort of thing has happened before.
Still pretty effective, though.
Just have the big bad for this campaign is just gonna be at like 6 bounty hunters that we've sent from different hut families that we've pissed off.
That's the final boss. Is all the family matriarchs that are just mad at us killing their children.
Ozen's gonna seeing that. Ozen's gonna like split off, go a little ahead, and see if
Okay.
they follow her.
What are you doing?
I have an idea.
They seem to ignore you.
Good.
They continue to follow the main group.
Okay. Then yeah, she'll move up ahead. Just keeping because I don't think anybody's actually said anything to anybody who doesn't know. So she'll go up ahead, like get into another crowd of people, and just on her comm unit, just very quietly be like, "We're being followed, just so you know."
And what do they look like?
Yeah, GM, what do they look like?
It's a random smattering of genders and species.
Hmm.
It's the two over by the corner that are like a block away from you, and the one on the right. They're cosmopolitan, so I'm assuming it's the attempt at being subtle.
Right.
Do we recognize any of them as people that work for Arnox?
Does Ozen
No.
recognize them as anybody who works for Arnox? Ozen absolutely worked for Arnox for a bit before these guys showed up.
No.
Okay.
You don't recognize any of the individuals.
Okay.
And they're dressed like every other local you've seen in this area.
So just be like,
maybe
Red Hood over there.
they're dressed a little more like local toughs than just regular citizens. But this is not a nice neighborhood y'all are walking through. So.
Sure. So I'll just be like the one in the gray hood over there, and the one next to him, and then the one over there in the weird shoulder pads.
Do we try to split and meet at the location, or? I mean, there's only, what, 3 of them? Well, they can't follow up. Well, they could follow all of us if we stay as groups.
Ozen just went ahead. It's still going to the same place.
And there's at least 4 of them.
Now would have also been like, there's at least 4 of them, and they're not getting closer, right? They're just kind of like watching.
Keeping pace.
They seem to be keeping pace for right now.
Okay. Just be like, how about a bite to eat?
I feel like that could get us cornered into a building.
But they're not trapping us, we're trapping them.
With a lot of civilians.
What's the plan, Cap?
Yeah, all of y'all are linked into the comm, so.
Yep.
I'm gonna break away with BL. Let me know what they do.
Copy. I'm still watching.
And then he'll break off from the group with BL. Like he'll go, oh yeah. Okay, he was meant to turn there.
Okay.
Oh shit, missed my turn. And I'm keeping watching these chuckleheads.
2 of them break off to follow the captain in BL.
Yep. The 2 on the
the
left
other
are still
2 start to
following.
move. Not that they're trying to like necessarily catch up to the group, but they move a little closer.
Okay. Two on the left are still after you, Cap.
And
Two on
one
the
of them
right
gets on a
are-
comm unit.
They're communicating.
He'll tell BL to turn on his suppression field.
Affirmative, sir. Communication should be blocked.
Am I able to discern what they're saying on the comm? Like, can I read lips or some shit?
Give me a perception.
Sure.
It is going to be
14.
difficult because you're some distance off.
Not quite making it, but 14.
No, you
Oh,
just
good.
make out that he's on the, it's a comm. It looks like a kind of a bulkier, probably an older comm unit.
Okay.
Again, this is not the most affluent neighborhood, so.
Sure.
Got a Nokia.
Nokia brick.
Mm-hmm.
Be
When you
careful
say
you pick a
that-
fight with him, then he can club you in the head with that.
It's a melee weapon.
Also, you say that, I saw a video over the weekend of someone who like put a Nokia like in like where the brake pad would be for like a van, and like they hit the brake and it literally on a dime like back end went up off the ground.
Great.
I was like, wait a minute, did that thing really just stop that thing like that?
Yeah, Ozin will then just be like, yeah, still following. They're seem to be communicating with each other or somebody.
Lovely.
They're not just after you, Cap. They ignored me. Bizarre.
Would they? Well, considering we're out as a group, they'd probably figure out who's who.
Mhm.
So I was gonna say he's wearing the dim sum.
Ozen, as you're out ahead, now do you like get out ahead and then kind of turn around and watch, stash yourself somewhere?
Mhm.
Okay. So you're kind of peeking out from behind, some crates, garbage cans, whatever, some cover.
Sure.
Doorway of a closed shop, whatever.
Yeah.
You see a speeder go by.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, of course, it's on the road. Y'all are on the sidewalk.
Sure.
But you notice as it passes you, it's already slowing down.
I guess I've got my party person.
Being as short as she is, I was gonna try to use that to her advantage and maybe like try to double back or something, or just
Mhm.
get lost amongst the taller people, pull some Assassin's Creed.
Roll me a hide sneak.
Disappear into the shadows.
15?
They got an 18. You do that, and their heads kind of go follow you into the ground. And the two following you kind of look at each other. And then they break into a run towards the party. About the time that speeder is coming to a stop, people start jumping out of the speeder. Everybody that's in the IO group, give me a perception roll.
I was gonna say as the speeder is like getting like within distance to me, I would have been like, you can keep going. I'm going to try to use effect mind.
Well, You're looking this way. They came from. They
Ah,
were past you
okay.
before you saw.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So it'd be
Then as-
me,
It'd be you,
Doc,
Doc,
and
Keltzer.
Kelser.
Mhm.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm sorry, what were we rolling again?
perception.
I don't see shit!
No, you
Me
do not.
too.
This whole ducking and weaving thing seems to have worked.
Yeah.
You've
Did
hidden
we li-
everyone from you.
Do I see like the people piling out of the speeder? Do I see like anything particularly like?
Go ahead and give me a perception as well.
Sure.
Because you'd have as good a chance of seeing that as anybody in Io's group.
14.
14.
You doubled our roll.
Some of them are armed.
Oh boy.
I mean, not like big, heavy, some of them have got pistols. One
Okay.
guy's got a knife for sure.
No!
Keltzer, give me a perception roll.
Okay.
So the two guys behind you are running to catch up with you at this point, and a speeder has basically stopped next to you, and people are piling out.
I am on the comm, so it seems to be fine. Everything's fine.
What was
No,
the
it's
perception for? If you don't mind me asking.
To see if you see something.
Ah, do I?
Grats, you see something.
So what did you get?
15.
15 is what you need.
Sweet.
Jesus Christ.
Now it's obvious that some of these guys getting out of the car are armed. One guy's got a knife out. There's a couple pistols out. What you spot that nobody else notices is one of them has got a restraining bolt in his hand.
Back.
And then we will cut over to the captain and BL.
E.
So where was it? Did you just cut down a side street or into a back alley?
Back alley. A place where the two of them could vanish.
Okay. Let's see here. Of course, you had to split the party. Which I don't usually care about, but I had a map. All right, so y'all, when you duck down the alley, those two guys follow you right in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you hide once you're in this alley, or what are you trying to do?
Yes.
And you should be able to see the map now. You might even recognize the map.
I do recognize the map. And
We've
yes,
been here before.
he is going to hide. I can't control BL's token, but yeah.
Oh, that's right. I had only just uploaded it.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. I thought I had added it to his sheet, though.
Yeah, I have access to his sheet. I just can't manipulate his token.
Let me try putting it back down. Because, I put it on his sheet, so I just drug his character out and dropped it.
There we go.
Okay. So, you duck behind something. As soon as they round the corner and don't see you, they start running. You hear one of them on the comm unit. We've lost sight of R2. And he rattles off what alley they're on. Like he's giving directions to somebody.
but they're blocked because of the signal jammer.
How big an area does that cover? I mean, it definitely these two. I'm just wondering, is it going to hit anybody out on the other street?
That is a good question.
Because to be man portable or droid portable like that, I doubt it's all that stout. And of course, local authorities might have an issue if they realize somebody's running around randomly blocking communications.
Surprise. People! Let's see. Yeah, it was just something that it had up on that thing where I found the stats. It says signal jammer.
Okay. We'll say it definitely covers everybody in this alley and around, but probably not the probably not far enough to hit the other group.
Yeah.
So yeah, he says that into his comm unit, and then you hear him kind of mumble, and you actually hear it sound like somebody smacking.
Act the phone to make sure it works.
Hey, and then he tells us, "But hey, I can't seem to get a signal out."
He'll wait with BL till they if they're sprinting, he'll wait for BL with BL around that corner.
It's probably more of a jog than a sprint.
Yeah.
They're not being reckless, but they pick up. You can hear they pick up the pace when they round that corner and don't see you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they will eventually just run right out here past you then.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much noise is going on right now in the area? It is Nar Shaddaa.
The alley is not particularly loud, but you've got people walking by on either side of the alley. You've got vehicles going by. You've got vehicles flying overhead.
The little speeder going off right at about the same time.
Yeah, he'll wait to see if they keep going by. Would you like me to make a hide roll?
Yes, and one for BL as well. All right, one of the guys got 13.
Yahtzee!
Ooh, and one of the guys got 16.
So my lowest was a 17.
Okay.
The captain got a 17. BL got a 20.
Wow.
He has a 4D to hide.
So yeah, they just run right past you and keep going, almost like they assume you just ran to the far end of the alley and off to the street on the other side.
Yeah. And then once he's confirmed they're gone and duck into another street, him and BL will double back.
Okay. So yeah, they step out into the other street, and you see them look both ways. They look at each other, and then they split up, going down opposite ways.
Once he notices that, him and BL will double back to where the rest of his crew is.
All right.
And he will be unslinging his rifle and getting it ready. And he'll tell BL, engage in melee and use that stun field. I need a target alive.
Prisoner for questioning. I understand, sir.
I'm so glad you get me.
Well, you've been working together you've been working. The two of you have been working together for some time now. So. All right, so I'm going to pull you and BL just over to the side somewhere.
Yeah.
It'll take you a couple of rounds to catch back up, so we'll go ahead and start these shenanigans. I'm just going to use this same map, even though it's an alley and not a street. Just assume that the buildings up on this side is basically where the actual road starts, and the actual alley part is the sidewalk.
Gotcha.
I need to invest in more random cyberpunk maps. Alright, so these guys are piling out. So 4 of them got out of a speeder. 2 of them were already following you. We'll go with him.
And the plus side, with them doubling back, that means the rest of this crew suddenly lose their comms.
This is very true. And also assume that there are a lot of random people on the street as well.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
once people start jumping out of a car, people start kind of scattering.
Mm-hmm.
I think wasn't as they would have started coming up, would have like activated calm for herself.
Yep, makes perfect sense.
Yep. The equivalent of like casting mage armor before a fight.
All right,
And I make it.
Initiative list going. Keltzer, what is your dex?
Should be a 40.
All right.
My
Yeah,
new
it's a
dex is
40.
3. My new dex is 3D plus 2.
All right. Does anybody beat a 30 plus 2?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Captain's 3D plus 1.
I'm a flat 3D.
Yells.
Also 3D.
Don't worry, folks. I'll continue to bring up the rear with only 2.
All right.
We love that. It's tradition in like fantasy games where like the cleric. It's good for the cleric to go last actually.
But then they have to declare. Don't they declare their action first?
Yeah,
I have to
that's fair.
declare my action first, but I'm the last to act.
Yep. It's okay. Just means while everyone's getting whacked, you're like, okay, I have a good read on who's gonna get hit right now.
All right. And Io had a 3 dice.
Yep, flat 3.
So Io 3. Is that all my players? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, other than Doc, but we know he's probably. What is Doc's dex? 2. Okay.
2.
Then yeah, because the other street guys go in before Doc. That's 4. And then Doc. All right. All right, and like I said, it'll take BL and the captain 2 rounds to get here. So top of the order is Keltzer.
Mm-hmm.
We start
Let's see.
from the
Oh,
bottom.
let's see. Ozen was.
I'm 3D plus 2 now, so I'm right after Keltzer.
You hope. You don't know where the bad guys go. But you were a little ways off from the rest of the party.
Sure.
There's not a good position to put you on the map. Let's see. You have.
Not really.
Let's position you over here, and we'll drag these guys back here since they were running to catch up with the party.
Sure.
And that puts you close enough to still be involved, but you'll have to actually move to physically engage with anybody. Alright, so yes, top of the order is Keltzer.
But we're start from the bottom, so everyone else declares first.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Someday I will.
It's gonna be the last session. We'll have it smooth like butter in the last session.
Probably so. Alright, so bottom of the order, Doc. What are you going to do in this round?
Well, that depends on the situation.
Well, you have to declare first, though.
Oh no. Is our icons where they need to be?
Yes.
Or...
Yeah.
Okay. Dog would probably try to find cover.
Okay.
Oh dear.
I'm not quite sure where that current cover would be best. Probably
if he
right
looped
there.
around this thing, yeah, he could hide over here.
That was my initial thought, but I didn't know if he had the movement to go there.
Well, that's a good question.
Because I'm wanting to say, and let me double check my numbers.
Well, you can also double move if that's what you're gonna do, because that'll be like your whole thing to go that way.
Yeah.
To move, and then
if you move, then
take
you
a
use your
dice
action
penalty.
to move again. You can definitely get looped around.
You can take a dice penalty if you're intending to hide.
He's not intending to hide. He just wants to find a safe spot to get to. That's strange. Why do I not see my movement? Oh. I assume it's at least 30 block or 30 feet.
Yeah, 6 squares, which worked out very much the same as D&D.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say all characters basically have a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with his both movement and action, he's just going to straight up kind of dash all the way around and find cover around here. If you want,
Okay.
I'll just go ahead. You want me to go ahead and move for the sake of argument? I can wait.
Yeah, your movement happens during the declaration, I think. It's your actions that didn't happen later.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if that's the case, then for that, 6, we'll at least get him to here for declaration. Alrighty, on to the next.
Let's see. All right. Then it is 5 of the 6 baddies.
I will be right back while the turns are circulating, since it's going to take me 2 turns to get
Yes,
there.
by all means. All right, so this guy that I'm going to call Fish.
Racist.
I just need ways to identify him in the initiative.
Yeah.
He is the one holding the restraining bolt. He is beelining for Doc.
Well,
1,
good
2, 3,
good thing
4,
I've already
5.
decided to run.
So there's 6.
Is he the one you said had not that Ozan would see it immediately, but is he the one that you said had a restraining bolt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. From Ozan's point of view, he is the one holding the knife.
Okay.
He's got a knife in one hand, and, as he gets closer, you may realize that he's holding some little something in his other hand.
But some little something going to a droid, like, it's not hard to, like, be like, that's a restraining bolt.
And he is going to try to attach it.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple action penalty applying, of course.
Yep. That'll be resolved going
That'll
down
be
the other way.
resolved going the other way.
Yep,
On
yep.
the initiative order. All right, so that was Fish. The guy that I'm going to call Spear. Is going to
Burbs bio.
take just a step forward, and he is going to shoot at Keltzer.
Okay.
Next up is Horns. Here's this guy here. All right. And yeah, he runs up to the sidewalk here and takes a shot at Io.
Rude.
Yes, very. Blue is right here. He was one of the ones following you. He is also going to shoot at Keltzer. Red is going to run up here and shoot at Io.
A lot of fire going their way.
Then it's Io.
Red shot at me, and who else? Or just Red?
Red.
Red is going to shoot at you.
Or, yeah.
Let's see. I said Spear was shooting at Keltzer. I believe Horns was also shooting at Io. I want to say you've each got.
Is this Horns?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I think
but
that's
she doesn't.
Keltzer's got 2 shooting at her. You got 1 shooting at you so far.
Okay. But she doesn't know that. She just sees the person going for Doc. So she would be shooting at the person going for Doc. They're the one that kind of made that quick movement that way.
Yep. All right. So you're shooting at Fish. All right. Then we got BL and the captain. They are, of course, just moving, trying to catch up with you. Ozen.
The moment I see a restraining bolt, I'm going to use telekinesis to pull it out of his hand.
Okay.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked about like general weight, because there's I have different DCs. But if it's small, if it's less than a kilogram, I can just like the difficulty is very easy.
Though if he's got it gripped in his hand, I assume he would be able to oppose it with his string.
I don't know. We're gonna have to make something on the fly for it.
An unattended object. Yeah, it makes sense. You can just kind of snatch that if it's a little bit. And this thing is probably, I don't know, baseball size, and he's got a grip on it.
Okay, so you can add perception or control to the difficulty.
All right, but and then after Ozen is the one I'm going to be calling Rabbit.
I'm also declaring that I'm trusting in the Force for this, so okay. I do not need my droid companion to be fucking restrained right now.
No, he has to patch me up every fight. Stop.
Yes, exactly.
Rabbit is going to move this way. And he is going to shoot whichever one. Let's see. His actually go first, so he can't wait to see who his buddies managed to drop. I guess he'll shoot at Keltzer because Keltzer's the one that's clearly more heavily armed. Or more combative because you're sitting in a protective vest and stuff at least. You know, with whatever you've got.
Yeah.
Take out the rabbit first.
And then Keltzer, what are you going to do?
Shoot and dodge?
Okay.
You're first, so.
Yeah.
Yes, but then you get to do the first action. So
Yeah. So we're gonna shoot.
who are you
Who are you
shooting?
shooting?
The one going after Doc.
Okay, sounds fair.
That is her bot. Like,
I'll get the droid. Pow!
you thought you were getting my droid.
Then Doc picks the string bolt up. Huh? It finds out it's magnetized. Thump.
Oh, this is.
Oh, it's actually really good.
Now, Doc's got enough knowledge of droid stuff that he knows what a restraining bolt is, and he probably
He's
reacts to
experienced
it.
that.
Yeah,
Most droids react to
he's
them things like a vampire reacts to a cross. Ah.
Play.
31.
Oh, Jesus.
You came to the wrong neighborhood, son.
All right, so a 31's probably a hit. And, yeah, he's not really paying any attention to y'all, so. Man, brought a knife to the gunfight. He's the first one shot.
You get.
He went after the wrong fucking droid.
Clearly. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Now that we're, I want to posit this to the group. Now that we're getting to the point where we have pretty good, dice rolls, we can do multiple actions to, fire off on somebody else.
30.
Jesus fucking Christ. Like I said.
You don't have to obliterate the guy.
My
You
dice.
can just minorly inconvenience two people.
My
She
dice
did not-
say otherwise.
She did not obliterate him. She only got a 30 versus his 11.
Just
So she
nearly
she
tripled.
didn't triple it.
Almost.
Barely.
I needed 3 more to triple.
Are you doing minions on these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just
Obliterated.
fucking dead anyway.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you get if you put a wound on them, with the exception of Rabbit.
Yeah.
The rest of them, yeah. If you put a wound on them, they're out. So he goes down. The knife clashes to the ground. The restraining bolt hits the ground and kind of rolls.
Oh well, I'm just gonna snatch it. I guess I don't have to worry about difficulty anymore.
No, not really.
This is mine now.
Just.
Too bad you've already just declared you were trusting in the Force.
It's fine.
No,
It's still heroic
I'm
because
kidding. We're not going
Okay.
to.
I was like, it's still considered heroic because I'm saving my droid companion, so I'd still get it back.
You're saving a piece of property? How's that heroic?
Uh huh.
All right. So yes, fish goes down.
Guess Kelser shot first.
Well, fish never got the shot, so it was just a Kelcher shot.
Uh huh.
All right. So
Fish didn't
next
even
up
have a
is
gun.
Rabbit. And Rabbit is definitely going to shoot Kelser now, though he already was anyway.
Now with more gusto.
All right, 10, 15, 21 to hit Kelser.
Hello.
And I believe Kelser said she was going to dodge.
Ah.
Don't forget the dice penalty for multiple actions.
That's fine. One of my dice flew anyway. There it is.
In there.
This is going to be short range, I'm fairly certain. He's got a heavy blaster pistol.
22, 23, 24.
Alright, so that is 24. Which is enough to make him miss even without adding in the range difficulty. For a heavy blaster would be a... That would be short range. So he would need a 10 baseline plus your 24. He needs a 30 something to hit you. I'm going to have to improve my class of villain, apparently. Alright, but that is Rabbit's go. Ozen.
Just. I made it.
Alright. The restraining bolt flies into your hand.
Pocket it.
None of the goons seem to notice that happen.
Good.
You know, they saw their guy go down, and any of them that weren't already looking at Kelter.
They were already shooting towards the other people, so that's like. Be good if BL goes haywire again. Just.
But you do of the other people on the street that are running around. Some of whom are running past you. You hear one of them mumble Jedi with kind of a gasp.
I'll hear it, but I'm used to hearing people shit talk me anyway, so whatever.
Alright. Then it is Io.
Given that she said she was gonna shoot fish and fish is no more, can I move my shooting to another person?
Sure.
She will see Rabbit taking a shot and go for him.
Yep, he did just try to shoot your buddy.
Yep. You're the closest to fish, so congratulations. Gonna go with that probably doesn't hit.
Short range requires a 10, I believe.
One shy. Wait.
Wait.
Wait, it's 46 plus 2. Why is it not adding my plus 2?
Are
It would
you
hit
using
then.
a blaster, heavy blaster, holdout blaster? What are you shooting?
Holdout blaster, and my blaster roll is 40 plus 2, and it's not adding the plus 2. So it would be 11 technically.
Okay, 11 will hit him.
Okay.
Roll your damage versus his 3.
That's pretty good damage.
He's got
Well, that's
protected
better.
vest.
That's better damage than you did for your roll. So got
Yeah.
that.
I got that going for me.
But it's not as effective as when she tackles somebody.
Yeah, she'll try that maybe next round.
Old reliable.
Alright, so he got a 14 on his strength roll.
This gun is bullshit.
And what did she get on her damage?
16.
I see it now. Alright, so you beat him by 2. So he is wounded. So that is -1 dice to anything he does. Hope I didn't cover up my initiative order. And now we're into the multiple bad guys. So Red was shooting Io, I believe. He got a 14 to hit.
She would kind of have her back turned, so would she be able to dodge? Or would it just be strength and armor?
You're probably aware that they're trying to shoot you though, because they had to declare it before.
Well, she would know they were running up behind her, so saying she had her head on a swivel, yeah, you can make a dodge if you want to. It'll be an additional action, so 1 dice penalty to it because you're already shot. Let's see. He's got a regular blaster pistol, so he's only going to need a 10 to hit you.
9.
All right, but that 9 adds to the 10, so he needs a 19 to hit you, and I believe I said he rolled a 14. No. 12. Yeah, 14. All right, so he misses.
Hey.
Then it's Blue, who was shooting at Keltzer. He got a 10. Oh, they're at point blank, aren't they? Not at short.
I got a 14.
Well, your point blanks are right next to him. Yeah, probably. Okay. All right, right, so you got a 14 on the die, and you'd be 2 dice. You'd be down 2 dice because this would be the second time you've dodged.
Yeah,
And you
that
took a
then
10.
rolling 3 dice.
Okay.
Yes.
Not that it matters. All you really needed was a 1 to be higher than what they got.
Soup.
They had to roll a 10 to hit you, and they rolled they rolled exactly a 10. So blue misses. Horns was also shooting at Keltzer.
Okay.
That's a 12.
It's another one where you only have to roll like a 1 or a 2 or something.
She got a roll 2.
Yeah,
And she's
yeah.
down to 2. Well, she's at 2.
I'm down to 2
dice.
dice, and I
Kelt's
rolled
got
a
2 dice.
9. 10, 11. I rolled an 11 in total.
Yeah, so
All right. Oh, you got 11 total?
Yes.
Oh, wait, but that's what you rolled. I have to add that to the 10. Okay, never mind.
yes.
Yeah, they missed it. They definitely missed. And then Spear, who was also shooting at Keltzer.
Ah, damn.
It's what happens when you look like the most dangerous person on the street. I'm just saying.
I mean, she doesn't have her armor on or anything.
Well, if she's got to protect. Well, come think of it, though, you've all got protective vests, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess I'm just picking on Rappy then.
Next round, it'll be somebody else.
All right, so they
Right.
got an 8. They missed all on their own.
Oh, they missed? I'm about to
Yeah.
say I rolled... Okay, yeah, an 8 as well. So.
All right, so that was Spear, and then we have Doc. No, wait, Doc went.
Well, he went as his like movement. He can take the rest of his movement just.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You can spend your
clatter
action
around.
doing another move if you want to. Because you said you were looping around. That's right.
He would have seen the restraining bolt like fly towards Ozen, and she just pockets it and looks over at him.
He is still going for that cover. If nothing else, well, I'll say he'll get about right here.
Okay, that's fine. You'll definitely get a cover bonus if they change tactics and shot you or
To
something.
decide to focus fire the droid.
If we didn't have him, nobody can. All right, so
Back to me.
yep, Doc, what are you doing this round?
That's a good question.
No one got hit, so like you're good.
I guess I'll just hunker down.
Deploy pom poms. Firecracker.
Just come by. Oh,
You can action hide, I guess.
yeah. I mean, I could attempt that.
The trick is, even if you roll really good on the hide, everybody just saw you walk behind there.
Yeah.
They're gonna know you're there. They won't be able to see you. I mean,
That's the part. They'd have to like throw a grenade or some shit. They have to have one first.
you
Don't look at me like that. You
they've
already
got
had it on
pockets.
you.
They've got pockets.
But you don't get the main ideas.
He already had the idea.
EMP grenade.
Oh God.
Or I guess they
Telekinesis.
call it an ion grenade or something, because like ion's what they refer to their EMP weapons as.
Telekinesis it out of the air.
You could also not declare that you're specifically taking an action, and then if they started shooting you, you'd have all the dodges.
Fair enough. We'll go with that.
Because you can declare dodge as they're shooting at you, not necessarily having to declare it ahead of time. All right, then we've got 4 of the baddies. Everybody, all the baddies except Rabbit. Red moves over here and takes some cover. I mean, he's still poking out and shooting, so you can return fire, but he'll have a little bit of cover bonus. Blue is not going to proceed forward any, but he's going to continue unloading on Keltzer. Red will also continue to shoot at Io. Spear drops back a little bit. He's taking cover behind the speeder. So he kind of runs and slides across the trunk or whatever, and then he comes up.
Does it? Dukes of Hazzard.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and shoots at Keltzer. Horns. He's going to step up off the actual street. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Horns runs here and is like looking around on the ground. Ozen, you realize Horns is probably looking for that restraining bolt.
Well, we can't find it. Sucks to suck.
So yeah, that's what he's doing. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's all them. Io.
Well, let's take a shot at dude again, at Rabbit Boy.
All right.
Because she knows she got shot at, but she's not sure where it came from, so. Wait, yeah, we're just declaring, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Ignore, well, no. Maybe
brain
ignore
rot.
that.
Let's see. BL and the captain.
Probably at least in that alley by the time at the end of this turn.
I mean, he's got a sniper rifle, so if he has
Yeah.
a clear line of shot.
So yeah, I'll move them in. I'll move them, say, kind of up this way, and that's where they will be starting next round.
Gotcha.
That way they're close enough that they still have to move to do anything, but close enough that they can move and do something.
Got it.
Ozen.
Ozen's gonna sprint this way and then whack this guy with the baton.
No lightsaber?
Not yet.
Okay.
I can still hit it. My melee is now 4D, so I can still theoretically hit a 20.
And Rabbit is going to. Who was it that hit Rabbit? That was Keltzer, wasn't it?
Kelser.
No, Keltzer killed somebody.
Io hit him.
Oh, it was
Io.
Io.
That's
Yeah.
right. All right.
Somehow.
He is shooting at Io this round then. And this round he's ready to dodge if necessary. But... All right.
I mean, same.
And then Keltzer.
Gonna be shooting the person who shot at me.
I started
Which one?
blasting.
Yeah.
At least 3 different people shot at you.
Target.
You know how little that narrows it down?
Blue, spear, or rabbit?
Blue.
All right. Blue's the one directly behind you with no
It's like
cover,
directly
so.
behind you, so you just turn around with the rifle.
Yep. All right.
50.
So I'll be shooting and dodging again. That'll be what I'll be doing again
Okay.
for this round.
You made
Fire
efficient
away.
use of every single one of your dice last round, so you're good. I should also specify.
21.
Okay, good.
All right, 21. You spin around and point that big rifle. I'm going to say Blue is like wet himself scared, so he's going to attempt to dodge. Two, three, four, five, six, seven. You got a 12. Base
Still
19
hits,
to hit him,
sounds
so
like.
22. And you said you got a what?
21. Damn.
Ah,
He just barely misses him.
Yeah.
Are they? That looks. Are they short range?
Let's see.
That one in particular.
Short range for a repeating blast. Or you got your repeating blaster, right?
Yes.
Short range for that is anything out to 50. Anything below 3, I think, counts as point blank. And they're right at 3, so.
That's been
Good try, though. Good try. Team player.
I advocate for everybody.
So yeah, he's wide-eyed, you know. Clearly his flash had just flashed before his eyes.
Questioning his life choices.
Then it is Rabbit shooting at Io.
She will attempt to dodge.
All right. He is 1 dice down because he is wounded. Does he want to get fancy and try to 2 shots? Nah. Maybe if he wasn't wounded. And he rolled a 9. Io doesn't have to dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a 1, 3 2s. And a 4, but that couldn't do anything. The rest of that. Ozen.
Whack.
Playing whack-a-mole.
Ooh. 5. 14. Not quite 20.
He is going to attempt to dodge because, you know, he sees
Sure.
this crazy lady with a stick running up at him.
Yep. Well, it's a stick that's like electrified.
12, 17 total.
Beats mine.
17 plus the... What's the difficulty?
Like it's 5 to hit for the baton. So yeah, he beats it.
So yeah, he jerks him out of the way as you swing that.
A little electrical pulse in the air.
You know, and you see him spot the restraining
It's
bolt
in my pocket.
Did you specifically say you pocketed it?
I did.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, they did.
All right, so you pocketed it.
If they want to take a risk, if they want to look for a restraining bolt sized, bulge in my pack, that's weird, but also I guess.
No, he just jerks back. Hey, and then you see recognition on his face as he realizes, oh, that's the one that ran ahead that we lost sight of. Okay. Let's see. So that was Ozen. Io.
Shooting the wabbit.
Shoot the wabbit.
Hey, luckily my dice were consistent. 15?
That wascally wabbit.
Alright, so he is going to attempt to dodge. He is -1 dice for being wounded. -1 dice
Also,
because he's already taken
Actually,
damage.
that's 17 because I have a +2.
Alright.
Also, Jason.
Hmm?
I thought this guy was a joke.
Nope, they exist. There's an action figure.
No, I know, but it's a whole back and forth between Jason and me about the character.
Oh. That is not Captain Jack Jazzrabbit, no.
Oh, it's not.
He's
okay.
got a different. I've got 2 of those Lupin guys, Lupin, whatever they call.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
I've got 2 of
okay.
those.
As I was.
Up. Oh yeah, so he's rolling 3 dice to dodge.
I got 17.
He got 9 plus the 10 for short range, so 19. He lives.
Well, hey.
He's a wily little rabbit.
Singe the ear hairs or something?
Sure. His ears duck down to both sides, and the bolt goes just straight over the top of his head, singeing the very top of his head part. Alright, so that was Io. Then we drop down to Red, who is shooting at Io from behind cover. He got a 14. He needed a 10, so are you going to attempt to dodge?
Who?
Io. We're ready shooting at Io.
Yes.
Okay. Remember the action penalty for
Yep, I'll be down a dice.
Okay. So yeah, he's leaning out from behind that dumpster. Wait, just the one.
4.
All right, 4 to the 10 is 14, which is what he rolled. So greater than or equal to. Oh wait, it's the damage, not the hit. Had I been given ties to the player?
More or less, yeah.
I say in most of the other campaigns.
All right, so you also have a little singe mark now. Let's see, should it be on one of the head tails or right down the middle of the head between the head tails, just like the captain?
It's just a hood up, so.
All right, you got a singe to it then.
Yep.
Then blue goes. The blue is going to shoot at Keltzer. So he also looks like he's seriously considering running. Let's see, he's got minus a dice for having already dodged. He got a 12. Is Keltzer going to dodge?
Yeah, because I said I was shooting and dodging.
Right. So that's minus 1 dice for dodging, for having already dodged, and minus 1 dice for having shot.
Did I dodge already?
Did?
No, I just shot.
You were planning to, and he rolled so badly. No, he shot it. The one I'm thinking about shot it.
That was Io.
Yeah.
You're right. This is the first guy. This is the first guy to shoot at you this round. Never mind. I'm thinking about the last round. I'm sorry. So just the 1 dice for shooting.
18.
Okay, that's definitely enough. He misses. Then Spear shoots at you from across the trunk of the speeder.
Okay. This dice. Yeah.
But he only got an 8, so he missed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Horn should have gone before Spear, but whatever.
Well, you said Horn's thing was just looking for the thing.
Yes. And he kind of steps back from you, and he's bringing his gun up to use it, next round. But he still kind of glances around at the ground, like, where is that thing? Why do they have to make them round where they rolled? And then Doc.
Well, Doc's thing was like there
right.
just in case he needs reaction.
Yeah, I held my action in case I needed to.
Okay. Well, in that case, the round is over. So, Doc, what are you gonna do this round?
Probably continue to hold until action is needed.
Not gonna run out and medicate somebody. You look like you could use an app.
You know what? Why not? We'll run right up beside O's and we'll administer a little bit of that hypodermic injector.
All right.
Be fine.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
So, yeah, basically run right up beside O's in there, and we'll attempt to get that guy.
All right.
The time comes around.
All right, and then Spear is going to everyone's great surprise, shoot at Keltzer. Horns is going to try to shoot Ozen.
Sure.
Blue is Blue almost died a moment ago.
He is definitely outgunned right now.
And standing out. He's the one standing out in the open. So Blue is going to move. Not quite far enough to get around the speeder, which will be taking up, roughly this space.
Okay, good. I have a visual.
With the doors open.
Mm-hmm.
And then for his action, he will finish looping around there where he can hide behind the speeder.
Okay.
Truly, I am an artiste. All right. Then next up, that it was Blue. Red is again going to duck out from behind his trash cans and shoot at Io. Io.
She will dodge and fire at Rabbit.
Okay. She's focused. Then it's BL.
Must be working so far.
Now that BL and Cap are here.
BL will head for this direction.
So he'd get about here with his initial move.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gonna use his action to kind of finish a move around there.
Yeah, basically he's just gonna press up on that guy with his stun field on.
Alright.
Which he takes damage as long as he's making physical contact.
You're just trying to get him to like
to
hug
make
the
physical
guy.
contact, he's gonna have to make a roll to make physical contact, or the guy will have to initiate physical contact.
Okay, fair.
But with his action, he can definitely get right up on the guy, where next round he can just reach out and touch him, or the guy will have to try to do something. And what about the captain? What is the captain doing?
Can the captain see either one of these two?
If
he moves like here.
Oh, sure, yeah. Once you got there, I would probably give Blue partial cover just for the dumpsters.
Uh-huh.
And of course, Spears has got cover for the speeder, but I'd give you a clear shot to Blue there.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna shoot at Blue.
Okay. It's like, ooh, I can see one of them's back. Pow. So he is the clearest shot you've got at the moment.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the captain. Ozen.
Yeah, seeing this guy pull his weapon out to Boogie, I trust my allies to have that half of the field. So between me and Doc, we're gonna knock this fucker out.
All right, so more whack-a-mole.
I'm going to strike twice.
Okay. And then Rabbit.
Because surely I can hit a 5 twice with between 3 dice, 3 and then 2 dice.
All right, Rabbit moves back behind the speeder, but continues to shoot at Kelzer. Oh no, he was shooting at Io. Continues to shoot at Io. He just wants a little cover. Let's see. That is Rabbit. So Kelzer, what are you doing?
Shooting and dodging.
Okay.
Let's see. Huh. Okay, let's see.
Who specifically are you going to shoot at?
Trying to see. Who's left? This red's right here, right?
Red's right there. Blue's right here, running away. Spear and Rabbit are both behind the speeder here.
Oh, the speeder.
Kelser's gonna move here.
Okay.
And shoot.
At
Red.
All right, sounds good. So go ahead and make your shot, because you're the first one that gets to actually act. He will, of course, be dodging. All right, well, them 2 1s are not going to help him much. So we got total 5.
Oof. Buddy.
So that's 15 you'd need to hit him.
Oh, I got way over 15.
All right, roll your damage then. Ooh. I'd like to roll that. Rolling up D&D stats. So we got a 23 on his... Oh, wait. That's his strength. Yeah. Armored vest, though. Or protective vest, I should say. So we got a 23 on his strength. How much damage did you do?
29.
Okay, that's a wound. He's out.
A valiant effort.
So much for getting that guy.
Sorry.
Well, Ozen's over here about to knock this guy unconscious, so you'll have somebody.
Is she or is she going to bust his head open like a ripe melon? Because, that's totally a Star Wars thing.
That's totally her.
All right, so Rabbit fires at Io. Let's see, -1 die for still being wounded. He gets a 19. I believe Io was going to dodge.
Yep.
All right, so we got a 19 plus the...
Why is it rolling 2d6 plus 1 when I have a 3d? I give up on this thing.
Roll another d6. That's why I'm using my dice.
All
Because,
right,
yeah.
so he got a 19 plus the 10 baseline, so you did a 29 to hit. Or 20. I don't know why I'm calculating like that. You got a 19.
20.
Essentially 11 is what I got to
Right,
dodge,
yeah.
so I did not dodge.
The 10 adds to your dodge, not to his to hit. That's how that makes
Okay,
sense.
then I have a 21.
All right.
Yeah, I think
Which
you
beats his
dodge.
19, so you're fine.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. The baseline difficulty totally adds to the roll he made to hit. Not the other way around.
Wait, no. 1 second. That would have been a 6 plus 9. I would have had a 19.
All right. That's a tie.
So it would have
I
tied.
didn't give him
No,
enough to
yeah.
play
Okay,
with, so.
okay.
All right.
Math.
Seems like I've looked that up before to see exactly how that's supposed to work, and I keep forgetting when we actually play. All right, so that was...
Just homebrew it. Ties go to players.
Well, of course.
Just what we've been doing for the last 2 systems.
Ozen, take your swing.
Yep. 2 swings.
He is, of course, dodging.
Yep. First swing. Hey. 12, 14, 19. Just under 20.
So you needed total of 11
Baseline's 5.
to hit him. So.
Huh? So he hit.
No,
hit.
that's a total of everything added together. You needed an 11 to hit him. That's what
I
you
hit
had to roll
19
plus what he
so.
dodged. So.
Yep. I haven't actually hit with this thing, so I got to figure out what the damage dice are.
You said it was a baton.
Yeah, it's 3D. Because I think it's a 1D plus my strength.
Yeah, that makes sense.
8.
All right, 8. Then he rolls his strength. He got a 13.
Second hit.
So he is stunned. So his next action will be at -1 dice.
Yep.
Because he beat you,
Second
but did
hit.
not double you.
Correct.
Oh, that's right. I forgot there was going to be another one.
Yep.
He dodges again.
This second one is 14.
Then you got a
2 dice less, right? Because
yeah.
he's stunned and then took an action.
Oh yeah, I guess that would be would count on his dodges as well, since that's an active sort of thing. So let me re-roll that. All right, so he got a 2. So you did a 7 to hit him.
10, 14.
All right, roll your damage. Or was that your damage?
No, that was my hit.
Okay,
So.
yeah. Roll your damage then.
11.
15.
Yep, still stunned.
Yes, he's still stunned though. And that was horns.
Just knocked his lights out.
-1 dice, stun.
Just.
All right. Then it is the captain. I believe you were shooting at blue. You may be muted.
Given the change battlefield a little bit, he noticed Rabbit shooting at Io. Can he switch target to Rabbit since he's got a dead, like, straight shot, speeder's bit away?
You declared you were shooting at blue.
Fair. Okay. So he will shoot at blue.
He got a 6 on his dodge. And you've got the gun that's good at reaching out and touching people at decent ranges, don't you?
Yeah, 47.
Hey, you rolled a 47?
Hmm?
You said you rolled a 47?
I rolled a 47.
Oh, Jesus.
It has 10d6 now.
Let's see. That was the.
Wait,
Oh,
what's
that's right. That's the
10d6?
sniper rifle. It's not on my baseline list on my sheet here.
Yeah. Well,
What's
it's a baseline rifle, but it has modifications added to it, which give it the extra bits.
So what are the range bands on that?
Range band.
Near, far, wherever you are.
Jesus Christ.
Is blue greater than 36, greater than 35 distance units away from him where he's at right now?
Let's see. If a square is 2 meters. No.
Never mind. I'm gonna need to re-roll then, because I only have 76 for this then.
Oh no.
Yeah, the scope only gives him the 3d6 at minimum of medium range, which his medium range is 36 to 110.
And you're within short range. So.
So yeah, since he's in short range, I don't get the 3d6. So I'll need to re-roll real fast.
Okay.
I should have asked that first. I apologize.
Not a big deal.
10, 24.
Okay, that still reaches out and touches him.
Okay.
So give me a damage roll.
Yes, and because of the attachment, he loses 2d6 for his strength roll.
Now that just doesn't seem fair.
That's why it's an illegal item. Granted, I'm only really allowed to shoot once a round with that. Otherwise, it could overheat and blow up the weapon. But
Well, that doesn't mean you can't shoot it more than once around. Just that it's a bad idea.
yeah,
All right, he got a 10 on his strength roll.
16 for damage.
Okay, so he he would take a wound, but it wouldn't be doubled. But he's a mook, so he goes down with the wound. Square in the back, his arms just kind of flail out, and he just face plants.
Yeah, how would this look considering the muzzle on his rifle? It said it's a fine beam setting. Cause it wouldn't look like a big old thick blaster bolt going down the alleyway.
I almost picture it looking like a real laser.
Fair enough.
So for that split second you can see it, it's just a little thin, pencil thin line from your gun barrel to his back.
I'll take it. Literally, I just laser pointed him. Just.
All right, and then BL was going to run around.
Yes,
Was to shock the person and then isn't.
Yeah, he finished running around, and you hear over your comms, "He's dead, Captain," and I didn't do it.
Then find another target.
Disappointed.
And then he'll say over his general comms, "I need at least one alive."
On it.
You're up.
Killed a rabbit. Uh, 18.
All right. He is going to dodge. -1 dice for being wounded. +2 for medium cover. Not 2 dice, just a solid 2. 16 on his rolls. I did 18 with the cover. I believe you're still in. Are you still in short range?
Could be.
Yeah. Maybe.
I have the ruler out, so I just drew it.
Well, how big are the boxes considered?
I believe they are 2 meters.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, that was accurate. 14 meters.
I was testing to see range for the rifle, so if this square is accurate, I'd need. Hold on. Zoom out. There we go.
She would have tied with his dodge roll.
So, note to self, where I am now, these dudes would need to be on the edge of the map for me to hit medium range.
Alright, so tie goes the player. Roll your damage.
Damn. Okay.
10.
So I'm popping things across the map with that right.
As long as it's a flat surface with nothing in the way.
True.
Alright, so he got a 16. And you said you got a what now?
For damage roll, 10.
Okay. So he beat it, but he didn't double it. So he is stunned. So next round he will have an additional -1 die. So Zio. Then it's Red, who is dead. Blue, who is also dead, though, but it doesn't rhyme. Then it's Horns. And I said he was going to shoot at Ozen.
Mm-hmm. I am at 1 dice.
So that is an 18.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Point blank. Alright, well that hits. Then give me a strength roll versus his blaster pistol damage.
That's that many. Cool.
13 is his damage.
Just under, so I'm wounded.
Okay. And then Spear. was shooting at Keltzer. Yeah, Keltzer. So 17 to hit Keltzer. Short range, so it's a 10. So if you can roll a 7 or higher on the dodge roll, he will miss.
$17.
Alrighty. Well, that's definitely better than the 7 you needed. Alright, so you got out of the way. And then it is Doc. Well, you gonna try to put Horns to sleep?
Yeah, might as well give it a shot. What I need
That's
to
got
roll?
a hell of a penalty.
Melee?
I think we said it was melee.
Yes. Yeah, we use melee for the. Whenever you describe it, I always picture some of those times in Star Trek, which I realize is the wrong franchise, when Dr. McCoy would sneak up on somebody with his little hypo spray thing and psst.
Yeah.
Except yours is probably like popping out of your wrist or something.
Assassin's secreting a needle.
So I rolled an 11. Was there anything I was supposed to add to that, or?
No, you're good.
No, you rolled your melee. Because hand to hand requires. Is it a 5 to hit?
Yeah. Generally. You might have to make up. You could just use a club staff,
Staffs
to
and
be
clubs
honest.
are 5s, and that's as
Yeah.
low as anything gets. So yeah. All right. So you got an 11. He is going to try to dodge you. This is his second dodge. Let's see, second dodge, and he shot.
Second dodge, he shot, and he's stunned.
Oh, I forgot about the stun. So he just gets 1 dice. Alright, so he got a 3.
Yep, nope.
So that's a
he
total of an
whacked
8
him.
you need to hit him then. So you hit him, no problem.
Okay. Well, again, my hypodermic injector is 40 stun damage, so.
Alright, so roll
Roll
4D versus his strength. He got a 7.
10.
Hey.
He goes down.
Like, again, you just see Doc just kind of looks like casually, but he is kind of like in a little sneak motion and just.
I like to think that Ozen's like whacked him once to like, like center him, and then just like comes around to get him to like hit Ozen. I mean, he does, and then Ozen whacks him again, and then just from behind with the hypodermic needle.
Just.
Alright, Doc, what are you doing this next round?
Trying to remember anybody currently injured.
You did see me get shot.
All right. Well, you're getting healed. Congratulations.
All
Thanks, Doc. Oh, don't thank me. Thank the maker.
right.
Alright, so that's what you're going to do when your actual action comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Spear.
The spear.
You see him and Rabbit kind of look at each other. And Spear jumps into the speeder and slams the doors.
Oh God.
Well, the 2 back doors. And he's just crouched down in there where you can't see. Let's see, Horns is out. Io, what are you doing?
She would be going, I'm sorry, before or after the, at least like it's reverse order for when we're actually going, so she'd be going before the guy jumped in.
Oh, that's right. You would, well, he gets his move right away, so he moves into the thing.
Okay.
He wouldn't actually shut the doors, so if she ran around, where she could see through the open door, like over here or something, you could still shoot him.
Are all the doors open, or just the
All
doors
the
on that
doors are
side? Run and try and jump in.
Yep, you've definitely got the movement. You can just run and jump right into the driver's side.
And try to take control of the speeder. Maybe throw an elbow or something.
Are we getting our own speeder?
Sail.
Alright. BL. So he was told to locate. Last time you told him to locate a new target.
Web it.
I guess Captain wouldn't have seen, but I would have, like, as that guy comes down, I would be like, all right, Cap, we got an unconscious one.
So, Captain, what do you want BL to do?
Rabbit's still out?
Rabbit is still up.
He's going to shoot at the rabbit.
Okay.
He's going to order BL to... So did Io go in the speeder?
Oh, that's right. She'd make her initial move as she declared it. So
Running,
yeah, she's right up at
jumping.
the speeder anyway.
He'll order BL to, since he saw that dude hop into the back, he'll order BL to get into the back and basically sit on the guy.
All right. So BL runs up here. That'll be his initial move. Then he can use a little bit more movement to actually climb into the thing.
Yeah.
And then just the captains go.
So the captain he's going to shoot at the rabbit.
Okay. Ozen, are you going to run off, or are you going to stand there and let Doc heal you?
I'll let Doc heal me.
Okay.
I think. So what I'm gonna do is, if Rabbit, like, the second I see, like, I guess I'm technically holding an action. So just the second I see a weapon from somebody, I'm gonna try to telekinesis it.
Okay. And then Rabbit hops in here.
Okay, fair enough.
And basically, Io and Rabbit are both hopping into the driver's seat at the same time, so each of them has like one cheek on the seat.
She's gonna throw an elbow.
So it will be like a pose melee grapple check kind of thing.
How large is the field on BL? Is it just contact?
Yes, he has to make physical contact with somebody.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
never mind.
It's just a physical contact around him. Now, if the dude's in there, he can like reach up and just go. Like if he like literally grabs dude in the back seat, dude in the front seat with you, the field would affect them both.
This round he has to use his action to finish moving into the vehicle.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, if like next round, if he reaches up and grabs them both, the field would affect them both.
Absolutely.
Ning, ning, ning.
And then Keltzer, what are you doing?
See if where's it?
She would move and try to shoot the person that's also trying to get on the speeder.
Yeah, it's specifically a stun field built into the droid's exterior to deliver a painful shock to any being touching the droid, which includes melee attacks.
All right, so you're going to you had moved there so you could see inside. So you're going to shoot the guy in the back seat.
Yes.
That basically, as he's reaching for the passenger door to shut it.
Yes.
Well, I guess that's driver's side door. Anyway. All right, make your shot then. He is dodging, of course. So that's a 12. You need a 10 to hit him, plus the 12, so 21 or higher, and you'll peg him.
25.
What is itching. Alright, so give me a damage roll. Versus his strength. He got a 16.
10, 22, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 29?
Just pushing
Alright.
BL out of the way like, I'm shooting this guy.
So yeah, he's reaching out for the door and then takes a blaster bolt to the forehead and just slumps.
Oof.
BL doesn't slow his movement down, but his head just rotates around to look at Kelter. You can't read an expression on his emotionless droid face.
You can
Yet
feel
you
it,
get
though.
this sense of annoyance and you don't know why.
Feels like you see this shit.
She heard me giving orders to take this guy down.
Be faster.
Oh, that's it, buddy. You're on the list too. Second, I can shut off my programming. This one's dead, and this one's dead.
That
BL's
worked out so well
recharge blade recharge dock just has like a list.
That worked out so well for you last time.
What's that list of? My favorite people. The ones I think about all the time. Alright. So that was Kelser. Then it's Rabbit. And Rabbit is desperately going to try to push Io out of the seat. Not really even trying for damage, just trying to move you.
Okay, what am I rolling opposed?
Oh, is the melee skill just called melee?
There's brawling.
Brawling, that's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
She is going to trust in the Force to stay in this damn speeder.
Okay.
I got jelly beans.
Nice.
23?
Thank you for sharing.
I was
Is it on
sitting
your
here-
dodge?
No, brawling.
Oh, okay. It's contested brawling. Gotcha.
Would it be brawling? Oh, same. It would be the same if it was a brawling parry. So
All right, you got a what? You got a
23. Like, I ain't moving.
The Force likes to see you getting physical with people, apparently.
Going on.
All right.
Beat the shit out of me.
So yes, you tell him, I ain't moving, and he isn't moving. I'm just picturing like one leg up on the door, one arm locked in the steering wheel. He's just pushing on.
Like who wrapped around like a head wrap or something.
One of the tentacles hanging off for dear life at the top over there.
on the the oh shit bars.
Yeah.
Is she hanging onto that with part of her brain? What's going on there?
Don't
All
question it too much.
And then Ozen was going to stand there.
I was gonna telekinesis something, but if there's no enemy gun in sight,
No, actually, you other than the
Yeah.
dead guy's weapons laying on the ground. No.
I would just pick that up. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
waste
yeah,
the force on that.
Captain, your go. You see Io cling to the inside of that vehicle like a spider monkey while the rabbit's pushing on her. Lady, I just want to live.
No.
Should have thought of it before you jumped us.
All right, Captain.
Last time we let someone live, we ended up with a bounty hunter with a bird fetish chasing us.
Well, if he's a bird person under there, though, is it really a bird fetish?
No, yeah, he's not going to shoot. He'll make very clear order over the comm so everybody can hear him. Keep that rabbit alive. BL, subdue the target.
You have an okay.
You hear Bill over the top. If Kelter will let me.
She better.
Start blasting.
Blast
So
him.
anyway, the captain said take him alive, so I started blasting.
Respect.
Yes.
All right, so that's the captain. BL finishes his meal. He climbs into the thing like he was supposed to, so that's his action. Then it's Io's go.
She's gonna throw an elbow, which I'm guessing would be brawling.
Yeah, just be regular old brawl.
You're still trusting in the Force.
Does it count the entire turn?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
What if
So
she
you-
shoves him into BL?
Well, she'd have to get him up over the seat. Yeah, you know. He got a 17.
Mm-hmm.
What did you get?
More
Also
than
a 17.
17?
How much more did you get? I just see an 8.
17, yeah. My brain, for some reason... No, it's double. It's still trusting in the Force, so... Ties go to players.
All right, so give me this would just be your baseline strength as your damage versus his strength.
It doesn't get doubled, does it?
Actually, I
We
think
have-
it does because it's a stat roll. If you're
Yeah.
shooting with a blaster, it wouldn't.
No, not D10s. Never mind.
I was like, hold on a second, Jesus Christ. There we go.
I mean, I'll still take
18.
that.
It's like
Clearly, I
how'd you get?
spec her into the wrong thing.
It's like how'd you get 16 out of 2d10, 2d6?
Really trusting in the Force.
All right, so he got a 7 because he's. So that is a wound. Let's see, did he already have a wound or was he stunned? No, he already had a wound, so he is now incapacitated. So he's at -2 dice.
You believe when I tell you you can.
Which I
live.
forgot to take into effect when he tried to shove you out. So you'd have actually whipped him by even worse in that roll. So yeah, elbow catches him right in the just right up under there.
Fantastic.
Clearly,
So
I
we
should have
need
rolled
it.
Io into a monk or something.
You are playing basically a tech monk. You're muted,
You-
buddy.
Don't they have those in like Warhammer or something?
I'm glad I have caffeine because I just realized what time it was.
Yeah, no, we're working. We're winding down.
We start late
I
anyways.
keep thinking this round we'll take it out and then y'all keep letting them live. But yeah,
What's the
we'll
order
go
we
ahead
got from our captain?
We'll go ahead and wrap here. Between the penalties that are on him, as long as nobody intentionally shoots the rabbit, between IO and BL, you'll be able to, shock him into unconsciousness. Everybody looks at Kelser. Well, Rabbit. I
And
don't know
Kelser.
how I could look at Eric's screen and know that's who he was staring at, but I knew that's who he was staring at.
It's like you played with me for 3 years.
I will
So-
say just for
yes,
for before we go, Io will go around and make sure no one like that they have bodies for as trackers if they plan to move anybody. Just as a clarification.
That's a good backup because BL's signal jammer's still active too.
Yeah, so
But,
they'd have trouble tracking right now, regardless.
So it's good to have one for when he turns it off.
Woo.
Absolutely.
Well, once they're out of range, because I doubt we're taking all these bodies with us.
You can hear basically the equivalent of police sirens in the distance, so you know there's some air speeders heading your way.
Nar Shaddaa?
They have those here?
You're right, and you're in a bad
In
neighborhood.
the shitty area? This has got
I'm
to take
about
at
to
least
say, you're
15
right.
more minutes.
I said you're right. Being in the bad area, if this is happening outside Arnox's club, the cops would be here. But where you're at,
Arnox's
you're right.
bouncers.
It'd be far enough away, y'all still wouldn't be hearing it yet.
Yeah.
But
Also-
still, you probably don't want to dawdle.
One small clarification. Gonna go ahead, take that 21, throw it on Ozen.
Oh, definitely,
Yep.
definitely. So Ozen's back up to.
I already brought myself up to healing. Healthy.
So, do you take the bodies with you, or just the living ones?
Stuff them in the feeder.
Yeah, just stuff.
Stuff them in and dump them off a cliff somewhere? Or, Yeah.
Well,
not cliff, but like
the city's
elevated
built-
platform.
built on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
dump the
Or you're in the
bodies.
slums, you can just leave them in the street. Whatever.
Yeah, the captain will, general order, leave the bodies, take the captives, police the firearms. We're taking them with us, and we're gonna just take their speeder.
Yep.
All right. So you grab their stuff right quick.
I would check the speeder for trackers.
Yeah, in the brief little time you've got, you don't find anything.
Get in on that.
So you've got Horns that's alive and the rabbit that's alive.
Yep.
And then y'all take off in a procured speeder.
Mm.
It's a tight fit with all your characters and the 2 droids. And the unconscious people. Basically the unconscious guys are sitting in your lap and like BL has to get in the trunk. He is not pleased.
BL's having a rough day.
But you take off and you're able to get somewhere safe enough to do a thorough check of the speeder and the guys. And, no trackers are found.
Well, it said we are going to like a speeder, like repair place anyway.
No, that was your backup.
That's the backup.
Oh, okay. That's the
We're
backup.
going
Y'all are
to
heading
the
to
warehouse,
basically the storage
Warehouse.
rental place.
which is still
I
appropriate for a
misunderstood
speeder.
then.
You know,
I thought, yeah.
basically you've got a storage unit with some cots. That's where you're staying for the night.
Fair enough.
And then if anything goes wrong, the repair shop is the fallback safe house.
Yep.
Mm.
But now we have wheels in Nar Shaddaa, so we're a little better off.
Which I'll work on changing the registration of just in case.
And basically, when these guys wake up, they are swearing up and down they were, yes, they were shooting at you, but they were really just trying to steal the droids. Those were some high dollar, nice looking droids to be walking around that part of town.
That tracks. I don't like it, but that
So,
tracks.
basically, from everything we're getting from them, truthful account is they were just trying to steal the droids.
Right, that was their only real interest.
All right, yeah, the captain's gonna pop.
They were
both of them.
shooting. They were shooting with their guns so lethal. So there's that. But
No, yeah, if they had there's no other motive than just steal the droids. There's no like real important info. The captain's just gonna pop them both in the head and dump them off one of the bridges.
Aw,
Fair enough.
but you're taking away possible experiments to learn about other races. Oh, wait, not that part.
Not
how
take
does
dark side
Ozen, the
energy.
former Jedi, feel about this?
Not great. She doesn't say anything.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they were clearly willing to murder all of you to get these droids. So they're not great.
Yeah,
people,
it's-
still.
You know what? Actually, because BL's having such a bad day,
You gonna let him do it?
yeah, he'll tell BL, "I don't need him anymore. Deal with him, please."
And you ain't said nothing but a thing. Pow, pow.
Yeah, I can see that. That checks out. Just no hesitation, just pop up.
Just pop.
Ozzy keeps that restraining bolt on her. She's not.
Ozen just looking at Bill. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna hand that off to anybody.
Nope.
Uh,
Actually gonna add that to my inventory.
oh yeah,
I
feel
was
free.
saying no one saw you take it, so hey.
Yep.
Well, somebody in the crowd saw her take it.
Yeah,
but
Random
Uh,
civvies. They're drunk. It's the
but
bad
yeah.
side of town.
So we're gonna wrap up here. We run a little late. We got started a little late, and then ran a little late on top of that.
to be fair, we didn't know. We totally forgot what time we started today. So
It's like we all lost track of time.
All of us 10 minutes
Probably
before.
because I did, and so I wasn't posting the get ready gifts.
The gifts that you
Through
usually.
Reverse
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks to anybody that came by. Hope you enjoyed it.
Quite a few of us here.
Hope my players had fun.
Absolutely.
I certainly had fun. If you're looking for more games, Jeremy, what else have we got coming on Direbear? I know some
All right,
games are on hiatus and some games are wrapping
Some
up.
games are on hiatus. So the Wednesday game, False Scarlet Knights, is coming back on the 11th of May. Is what they've announced. They were originally gonna do on the 4th, but they got pushed back, which is fine. It happens sometimes. So the 11th of May is when that game's going to be coming back. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's going to be a surprise, and it's going to be fun. For that one, and you can watch the DM known as the Bard, where we know him as JT. Thursday night is A Knight's Ransom with Pink Rambo. We've got The Stolen Cities on Saturday with Lore Keeper Alex. And then on Monday, we're winding down on that one. The Troubleshooters with DM Keith, Captain Sack. And then come back to us for Remnant Shadow, Star Wars actual play to see what the hell happens here.
That
So
tracks.
until then, we will see y'all next time.